All right, welcome to the Vegas Take. Glad you could join us on a Thursday. Sharp and Shapiro back at you. Oh, boy, do we have a lot to go over today. Kellyanne Conway going off on CNN yesterday. We'll get to that. Daniel Lippman from Politico on the latest on these impeachment hearings. And did you hear the story about a homeless person dropping a bucket of diarrhea on a lady? This is horrific. Is this what's going to happen in Las Vegas in the future? If we don't take care of this homeless issue, we'll get to that coming up in hour. And that's just hour number one, by the way. Hour number two, a lot of stuff to get to, including there's this story out of Wisconsin where the governor is wants to call the Christmas tree the holiday tree. And then you have Republicans that are going nuts, putting an ordinance into place to call it, the Christmas tree. And now apparently they want to change Thanksgiving week to Bible week. Yeah. We'll get to that, and we'll get to one of the Democratic assemblymen who is in the middle of all this stuff coming up in hour number two. Hour number three, Mike Babcock. I can't even talk this morning. Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports will be joining us in a little bit. And, we're going to have this guy on who has been one of my favorite comedians since I was a kid. I mean, he has so many funny movies, so many great movies, and he's actually performing in Las Vegas tomorrow night. One of the Wayans brothers, I think he's my favorite Wayans brother too. Marlon Wayans will be joining us live in hour number three. Man, is that going to be a lot of fun. So we'll get to Marlon coming up in hour number three as well. But, have to start off with the breaking news, and that's what we do on this show. We try to give you the latest, the breaking news, whether it's local or national news. And luckily, in the last month or two, we haven't had to report on any of these mass shootings. Luckily. Not to say that there hasn't been gun violence across the country, because there has. But now we're learning of reports not that far from Las Vegas, folks. We're talking Santa Clarita, a school called Saugus High School. I believe I'm pronouncing it right. It's about 40 miles north of Las Vegas. And what we are learning is that a student, Asian descent, wearing black clothing, walked into that school. We don't know what type of weapons he had, but he did walk in there with some weapons. Like I said, don't know exactly what they are. And this is news that just broke here in the last hour or so. At least 5 victims. In some reports saying 7 victims, at least 2 of those are in critical condition. We've seen some of those students out in gurneys, in ambulances. It's a scene that we've seen time and time again, dating back when I was in college, dating back to Columbine, right? We're seeing similar images, right, of students being wheeled out of schools in gurneys. It's horrible. Now, a lot more of this, a lot more specifics are going to be coming out in the next few hours and in the coming days or so. Department spokesman Christopher Thomas is with the city of Santa Clarita, says that initial accounts are true, at least 6 victims, maybe more. It's not known if the patients have gunshot wounds or other types of injuries. He's also saying one was actually flown to a hospital in extremely critical condition. And this is the really scary part about this story, is that sheriff deputies have swarmed the campus and still no arrests have been made. So this shooter, who has been described as a young Asian male that was wearing black clothing, walking into the school and shooting people. We don't know why. We don't, but I'm sure, and listen, this is a hypothetical here, and I'm guessing. But obviously somebody that walks into a school to try to kill innocent people is deranged and has mental issues. But again, the same questions are going to arise. And it's sickening when I see these live pictures right now all over the national news. It's sickening when I see these students walking out of these schools with their hands up that will never forget this day for the rest of their lives. It is sickening. And I go back to when I was in high school. If I had to go through one of these situations where I saw students lying on the ground injured or even dead, and I had to walk outside that school with my hands up, my life would be changed forever. And again, we hope there are no fatalities. But I look at these images of these students taken out of their own high school where all they were doing was going to school this morning to learn, to be educated, and they're walking out injured, some of them critically, some of them who might even lose their lives. And why? I'm going to tell you something. We don't do enough to take care of people who are mentally ill and get them the help that they need. There are thousands of homeless people in this city right now that are mentally deranged, that need help. And the answer is sending them to jail or giving them up to a $1,000 fine. And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. All we want to do is take care of the rich in this country. All we want to do is take care of the billionaires and give them their tax cuts. That's all we care about are people that are financially sound, that have a lot of money, right? That's who the politicians care about in this country. Do they care about people who are suffering? Are they putting policies in place to help people that are mentally ill? And look, we don't know anything about this nut job that walked into this school. We don't know. But I'm telling you over and over again, there are usually red flag warning signs. It is extremely rare that somebody will live a normal life and then right out of the, for no apparent reason, just goes ballistic, buys weapons, and decides to kill innocent people. It just doesn't happen. Now, I know what you're going to say. What about Las Vegas? What about this guy Paddock? That was an extremely rare circumstance. I don't know how we could have stopped that guy from killing 58 people. But in many of these school shootings and in many circumstances when the shooter is younger, the warning signs are out there. They're out there for everybody to see. In the case of Parkland, how many more red flags do you need? How many more warning signs do you need when somebody's called to your house 80 times? Police go to your house 80 times. And I'm telling you, it's going to be the same thing all over again with this school shooting in California. It's going to be the same thing, I can almost guarantee you. He probably had some weird post on social media. The parents are probably going to say, boy, we just didn't know. We didn't know our son was capable of doing something like this. We're going to find out where he bought the weapons. We're probably going to hear from students. We're probably going to hear from friends that said, yeah, he said some pretty weird things over the course of the last days, weeks, months. But nothing was done. I can almost assure you that is exactly what is going to happen here. And right now as we speak, this guy is still not in custody. Police are still searching for the suspect in this shooting throughout L.A. now. So somehow he escaped. Somehow he goes into a school and starts shooting people, and he got out. I'm sure eventually he's going to be caught. I'm sure the police will do their due diligence. But do you see what I'm getting at here? What is the root of these types of things? What is the root of the issues here? And by the way, we have just received some good information that the injuries are down from 6 to 3. So that is good news. But I've still heard that 2 out of those 3 are in critical condition. And we don't know if this was a random shooting. We don't know if he was specifically going after certain students. We just don't know. We'll find that. But obviously, like I said before, I'll say it again. Anybody that goes into a school that wants to kill innocent people is deranged mentally. And, you know, the excuse of, well, some of these kids are bullied. You know, I heard that with Columbine. You know what? I would think at one point in our life, we were all bullied by somebody, whether it be elementary school or high school. It doesn't mean that we went into a school and started killing people. A lot of people are bullied, whether it be social media or, you know, inside the school. Doesn't mean everyone turns into a serial killer because they are bullied. So to me, that is just an excuse. I want to know, we should want to know, how did this person get the weapons that he got? Were there warning signs? And how did we fail as a society once again? How did we fail those students in that school that were shot today? How? What did we do as a society that was wrong? How did law enforcement fail? How did his parents fail? Were there warning signs? Did nobody report this person? These are all questions that need to be answered, and we don't know the answers to those questions yet. But we will find out. And I assume it'll be the same thing all over again. Deranged young individual. Maybe he was made fun of as a child. Maybe he had a rough family situation. He goes and buys guns. He says that he's going to do something crazy. Nobody reports it to police, and then he does it. This happens over and over and over again, and I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of having to report on school shootings. I'm sick and tired of having to report on mass shootings, and it was surreal when it happened here October 1. Surreal and disgusting. And we should never forget what happened here when we lost 58 people to a nut job. I'm just tired of it, guys. How do we stop these school shootings from happening? I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I think you could come up with some things. We need red flag laws. We need those on the books. If somebody says something threatening on social media or to you personally, and you don't report that to the police, I think there should be laws put in place if you don't report something like that. I don't care if this is your best friend. I don't care if it's a family member. You have to report it to police to help that individual and to help others. We'll take a few quick phone calls on this. We're reporting on the latest school shooting that happened this morning in Southern California at a local school called Saugus High School. We'll take your phone calls. 257-5396 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. 702-257-5396. And look, I'm not trying to say I have all the answers here because I don't. But I feel for every single person that is affected by these school shootings or mass shootings, you name it. I feel for them. I don't know what the answer is. I have no idea. But I do know that people in society need to do their due diligence to do what they can to prevent these things from happening again. I don't buy into the fact that somebody just loses their mind one day and decides to go into a school and kill people. I don't buy into that. And if it does happen, it is extremely rare. The majority of these mass shootings, there are warning signs. There are red flags. And we need to do something about it. What do you think we need to do to prevent these things from happening? Gun control. That's one issue. Helping the mentally ill. That is another issue. We need red flag laws on the books. We need people to do their due diligence. We need better parenting, for Christ's sake. If your son is a little Looney Tunes, then you probably shouldn't give him access to guns. If your son is a little crazy, you should probably try to get him help. And if he refuses to get help, then maybe you should force him to get help, him or her. Again, that number to call, 257-5396, 702-257-5396, reporting on the latest, another high school shooting, this time at Saugus High School. Not that far from here, folks. It's only 40 miles north of Los Angeles. There are several victims, two of which are in critical condition, and the shooter is still at large. 257-5396. Why don't we take a call from Stephen? Stephen, what do you think about all this? Uh-oh, we lost Stephen. 257-5396. Here's what I want to do. I want to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You are listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, K-Dawn.
Introducing the world's first apple cider vinegar gummy, the Goalie Gummy. 2 gummies are equal to 1 shot of apple cider vinegar. Finally, a delicious way to get all the amazing benefits of apple cider vinegar without the terrible taste. The benefits include weight loss, reduced bloating, detoxifies the body, improves complexion, enhances energy, and so much more. Visit GOLI.com and use promo code UPDATE for a special offer. Goalie gummies are packed with essential vitamins and superfoods, making it your daily delicious health necessity. They're 100% organic, all natural, vegan, and gluten-free. If you don't love the taste, no stress. Get a no-hassle refund. Visit Goalie.com and enter promo code UPDATE for 10% off your order. That's GOLI.com and enter promo code UPDATE to get 10% off and free shipping. Taste the apple, not the vinegar. Visit GOLI.com today and use promo code UPDATE. That's UPDATE.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777 or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Hi, Doug Basham here. Join me Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4, and I'll tell you what your conservative, corporate-controlled, right-wing propaganda hate media isn't. You're welcome. That's Saturday afternoons, 2 to 4. Be there.
My name is Janine McCoy with United Blood Services, and we need your help. Blood donations are low during this time of year. Take an hour out of your day to save 3 patients' lives. Donate now. Go to bloodhero.com, or you can call us at 702-233-9620.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON.
And let me make very clear, you didn't stick it to Kellyanne Conway.
Oh, yeah, nothing like a little Pearl Jam to wake you up in the morning. Welcome back to the Vegas Take. It is Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. We are covering the latest breaking news. It's happened in California, another high school shooting, this time in Southern California, where we are learning a school called Saugus High School, about 40 miles north of Los Angeles, where now we're learning at least 5 people have been injured. An Asian male walking into the school in dark clothing, police say, opened fire. And here's the really scary part. They are still looking for him. He is on the loose. And you're seeing the same images or similar images that you've seen with a lot of these other school shootings, where you have students being carried out on gurneys, students with their hands up in the air. You know, it's crazy that, our kids need to go through these types of events. It just happens it just happens on a regular basis, way too often. Shouldn't happen at all. We don't want one of these instances to happen, but now somebody else loses their mind and decides to hurt or even possibly kill, we hope not, innocent people. My question to you out there is, how do we prevent these things from happening? I think there's a lot of different things we could say here, but I want to hear from you. How do we prevent these things from happening? I don't have all the answers. I don't know. I have a few ideas that I've talked about on the show, and we'd like to take your phone calls at 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call, 702-257-5396. Let's start off with Mark. Mark, thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. What do you think about all this?
Yes, sir. It's a very unfortunate event, and there should be nobody accountable for that event but the individual, nobody else. And I agree with you that he needs mental help, and that's the root of the problem. I work for a private school, and it's a very exclusive school. Very, very wealthy people go in there.
Mark, in Las Vegas, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
Las Vegas.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yes, we are all armed. Security is all armed, but it's concealed, so the students doesn't see that we have weapons on us. We train once a week about shooting scenarios, and we're very proficient with our weapons. We know it inside out, and we understand that the students are a priority. We have protocols that if something like this happens, we'll lock them in a classroom, and all the guards will come up with a plan how to neutralize the threat.
Mm-hmm. So, Mark, let me ask you a question. See, I don't have a problem with that. You're a trained guard. I don't have a problem with you being armed. I don't have a problem with that at all. What I do have a problem with, I don't want to see every teacher in a school armed with a weapon. That's where I have a problem.
And that's fine. Not everybody should have weapons. If you're not comfortable with it, you probably shouldn't have a weapon.
Right.
We're all ex-military,
mm-hmm.
So the teachers, they don't need to. They don't need to handle that. All they need to do is teach.
Sure. Well, listen, I'm glad that you are protecting those students, and I'm sure you do a great job, and the other employees of the school do as well. But I'm going to take issue with one thing you said. You said the only person responsible for this, the only person we should be talking about is the shooter. Here's why I disagree with you. For example, the shooting in Connecticut, where these young 8- and 9-year-old kids were killed. Okay, the mother of that shooter knew that her son was mentally ill, yet she taught her son how to use a weapon, and she showed her son where the access were to the weapons in her home, and it took her own life because of it. I think you have. I think there are areas where it could be parenting. It could be maybe the police didn't do their due diligence with plenty of red flags that were out there. Maybe this person made some threats prior to this shooting, and nobody reported it. Listen, you're right. Ultimately, we have to say the person who committed the shooting is the one that's mainly responsible. But I think you can also say there could be other factors involved.
I stand corrected. I agree. Yes. If you know there's evil in the world and you refuse to do something about it, I suppose you are part of the problem. You are part of that evil.
Right. Well, Mark, we appreciate your phone call, and thank you for your service here in Las Vegas and protecting those students. We appreciate that, and thank you for the call. 257-5396 is the number to call. Again, 702-257-5396. Why don't we go to Carl? Carl, you're next on the Vegas Take. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, hey, buddy. Listen, a lot of this problem is, as you mentioned, is the parents. Generally, when children who – you didn't say whether he was a student there. I don't know.
I don't know that either. I'm not going to report that unless I know that for
okay.
sure. Yep.
Okay. But generally, people who do this are extremely paranoid. Paranoid, they feel they're being picked on.
Mm-hmm.
They're being bullied. They're being ostracized. They're being – whether it's the guy from Vegas who's trying to get even with society. He didn't know any of these people he shot.
Mm-hmm.
Or – the kids who go into schools and shoot other people are trying to fight back from being feel like they're being picked on, and they pick out individuals who were picking on them.
And that's all well.
Parents should see that.
Okay,
well,
and I don't necessarily disagree with you, Carl. And that's all well and fine. But I can tell you right now, we've all been bullied from time to time. Maybe some more than others in high school when we were younger. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden we flip and we decide to kill or shoot innocent people. Everybody's brain, as you know, is programmed very differently. Okay, some of us are mentally ill. Some of us can handle being bullied and just.
There are different extremes of mental illness. There are different extremes of paranoia. There's somebody in Washington, I won't mention the name, who's extremely paranoid. If anybody says anything bad about him, he goes after him. You know that.
I think I know. I think I know who you're talking about. But I think we and Carl, listen, I appreciate your expertise and I appreciate the phone call. The only point that I am trying to make is bullying is not going to stop. Okay, it's not going to stop in society. It's not going to stop in high schools or elementary schools. It's not going to stop on social media. If anything, we need to teach our kids how to handle a bully, how to handle somebody like that. What should you do if somebody bullies you in high school or makes fun of you? You know, in many situations, these kids growing up that are bullied, all they need is a good parent. You don't even need two good parents, just one good parent. Sit down with your kid, explain to them how to handle that situation. Talk to your principal, talk to the school. Make sure that if your child is getting bullied, that the person who's doing the bullying pays the price for it. And listen, yes, I do put some responsibility on the school systems and the teachers, principals, whoever it may be that see this type of thing going on and they don't act upon it. You know, it could be something subtle. Maybe you're making fun of someone's body or making fun of their looks or maybe their smell or whatever the case may be. Students react differently to everything, right? There are students that are more sensitive than others. All I'm saying is, you know, a lot of kids get bullied in school, and it doesn't mean that they just walk into a school and start shooting people. Everybody's programmed differently. I find it hard to believe that in this specific situation, like many of these other mass shootings, I find it hard to believe that this kid just decided to go nuts today and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to walk into this school and start shoot a bunch of innocent people. I can almost guarantee you that wasn't the case. This was probably planned. He probably is mentally deranged. And there were probably some red flags out there. And if people could have reported, and again, I'm speculating here, but find me one of these school shootings where there weren't red flags in place. I go all the way back to school shootings that took place in Columbine. Those two kids were acting very weird. They were making weird comments. Now, back then, we really didn't have Twitter. You know, social media was very different back then. I don't even think, did we even have Facebook back then? I don't even remember. I don't think we did. So it's easier to get these red flags and see these types of, if you see a weird comment on social media, you have to report it to the authorities. And mark my word, the authorities will take every threat seriously. At least they're supposed to. And especially in this day and age, I believe they will. But if you're just joining us right now, we're covering the breaking news, a school shooting in Southern California, where we're learning at least 5 students were injured. Now reports of 6 victims, where 2 of those 6 are in in this school called Saugus High School. It's about 40 miles north of Los Angeles. Reports details about the shooter saying that he is of Asian descent. He walked into the school wearing black clothing this morning, and he is on the loose, and so far no arrests have been made. Scary, scary stuff that a kid that walks into a school and decides to shoot innocent people is on the loose. Obviously, he is extremely dangerous, and who knows what else he is planning to do today. We hope and pray that police find this guy and put him in custody so he can't hurt anybody else. We'll continue to monitor this situation. Coming up next, Daniel Lippman from Politico. We're going to give you the latest on the impeachment proceedings. What is going on today in front of the cameras? We'll get to that coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Special report, California school shooting. A frantic search for a gunman in Southern California.
The information we have about the suspect, he is a male Asian wearing all black clothing, seen with a weapon.
Sergeant Bob Basie with the L.A. County Sheriff's Department says deputies were out in force around Saugus High School in Santa Clarita, and the Sheriff's Department says that suspect is believed to be a student at the school. As Jim Roop reports, at least 6 people were transported to the hospital after shots were fired about 20 minutes before school began.
L.A. County Fire did not say whether all were gunshot victims. Henry Mayo Hospital in Santa Clarita says it has 2 critical patients. More are on the way. Unclear the ages of the victims or the types of injuries. All area schools near Saugus High School, about 30 miles north of Los Angeles, are on lockdown. Residents are told to shelter in place.
The White House says President Trump is monitoring the situation and urging everyone nearby to follow the advice of law enforcement. I'm Jan Johnson.
It's time to check the roads in the KDAWN Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by your Southern Nevada Chevy dealer. I-15 northbound still closed between Lake Mead and Cheyenne Avenue. So bail early and use a surface street like Pecos or Las Vegas Boulevard and reconnect with I-15 at Cheyenne or points north like Craig. And a crash reported on the 215 Southern Beltway eastbound at Las Vegas Boulevard is at the exit ramp. Fall in love with a new Chevy during the Black Friday Deals event. Head to a Southern Nevada Chevy dealer. Get a great deal all month long on select Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. Chevrolet, find new roads. I'm John Michaels from the KDAWN Traffic Center.
This is John Greenhut. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, Power Swabs is the answer. In 5 minutes, you'll see 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. Even better, there's no messy strips or trays that you'll have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes, and you're done. To try Power Swabs, call 1-800-679-0969. Your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free. 1-800-679-0969. That's 1-800-679-0969.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
Imagine a time when no one person has Parkinson's disease, is debilitated by a stroke, and no family suffers the tragedy of Alzheimer's. Some of the best minds in America are doing more than imagining. The American Brain Foundation is seeking to find cures, where life without brain disease isn't just something we can imagine, it's something we can know.
Join Kevin Sorbo in the fight to cure brain disease. For more information, visit AmericanBrainFoundation.org.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
My father put the transcript out.
Read it.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, so glad you could join us. By the way, that was just, you just heard from Don Jr. And speaking of Don Jr., we just had a very special delivery from FedEx. We just received the book, Daddy, Please Love Me. Yes, that's right. We'll explain it in an image that we will post on Twitter right now. Special delivery. And we just took a picture of that book and we posted it up there on our Twitter page at the Vegas Take. So check that out. Okay, so as you know, these impeachment inquiry hearings have been going on. And yesterday was a pretty big day. And I figured what better person to lay this all out than Politico's very own Daniel Lippman, who joins us right now on the line. Daniel, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Okay, so before we get to today and the proceedings that are taking place today, let's talk a little bit about yesterday. Can you describe to me what you think was the most damning testimony yesterday? And do you think it favored Democrats or Republicans in regards to this impeachment inquiry?
I think the most damaging evidence yesterday was kind of just the overall picture that those two diplomats had painted of a government that had kind of been subverted to serve the political interests of the president at the expense of foreign policy and important national security priorities like protecting Ukraine from Russian aggression. And so I think the new piece of evidence was about that phone call that a couple U.S. Embassy staffers overheard Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the EU, have with Trump, where he said, where Trump talked about how the importance of investigations, as that Ukraine should undertake against Joe Biden.
So President Trump has been asked about this. He's been asked about his conversations with Sondland, and he seems to say this a lot. He said that a lot when it came to the Mueller investigation and Stormy Daniels. I don't recall. I don't remember. He's also said that he has the best memory of anybody on the planet. I believe he has said that in the past as well. So what do you make of that when he's asked about the conversations with Sondland and he completely distances himself and says, I don't recall any of those conversations?
Well, this is kind of a classic dodge where you can't be accused of lying if you just say I don't recall. So that's the kind of the pickle that Trump finds himself in. Plus, I think the Republican talking point that none of these people had firsthand knowledge of what happened. Well, Republicans and the White House are blocking Mick Mulvaney and John Bolton and others from testifying who were dealing with Trump more one-on-one. But we will hear from Gordon Sondland next week, who is, the closest of all of these people to Trump. And so he's a witness that Democrats allowed, Republicans to bring. And he kind of will be in an awkward position because he's donated $1 million to Trump's transition and he got this plum ambassadorial post. But he has to tell the truth, and the truth is that Trump was always talking about these investigations.
All right, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Politico's very own Daniel Lippman talking about these impeachment hearings, impeachment inquiry hearings. Okay, Daniel, so let's now focus on today, the rest of the week. Who we got today, and who do you think is one of those witnesses that they're going to be questioning that you're looking forward to hearing that certainly might have some firsthand knowledge? Because I know a lot of these Republicans yesterday were saying up there on Capitol Hill, well, these two witnesses, they don't have firsthand knowledge. They never spoke to the president. I would imagine when you're opening up some sort of investigation or even hearings of this matter, the Democrats are not going to put their star witness up there on day one, right? I mean, you set the groundwork, and then you get to the better witnesses as this goes on. Am I wrong in thinking that way?
No, that's completely accurate. There's actually nothing really going on today in terms of impeachment. Tomorrow, there's a closed session. David Holmes, who was one of those U.S. Embassy staffers who overheard that phone call, he's going to testify in closed session. An OMB staffer, Mark Sandy, is expected to testify in closed session as well on Saturday. But tomorrow we will hear publicly from Masha Jovanovic, who is the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. There was that misinformation campaign who, that was targeting her, saying that she was an anti-Trumper and had said mean things about Trump. But that's something that, is not that's supposed to be pretty damaging for Trump as well, because she is a lifelong diplomat as well, and she has no reason to lie, and she most Republicans respect her too.
All right, well, Danny, I'll tell you, you guys do a great job over there at Politico, and we appreciate your expertise. We'd love to have you on again as these proceedings continue throughout the week and into next week. Thank you so much for your time, Danny. You guys do a great job over there. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Thank you. Daniel Lippman from Politico laying this whole thing out. These guys do this for a living, and they're very, very good at it, might I say. Look, this is only going to get worse. As I alluded to earlier, there are people on the right that want to attack every single one of these witnesses. You didn't have firsthand knowledge. You're a Trump hater. I mean, it's on and on and on. But the bottom line is, even those two that were testifying yesterday, look at their resumes. Why would they have a reason to lie about this stuff? Why? But, Republicans want to discount their testimony. This is what they want to do. And then you hear Nancy Pelosi, and listen, I'm not a big Nancy Pelosi fan either, but she had a press conference earlier today, and she said, listen, this isn't about Democrats, this isn't about Republicans, this is about getting to the truth. 702-257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. Fox News and CNN are reporting that the school shooter is dead. We don't know if he took his own life. We don't know if the police took his life. But certainly that is good news. It is the one good news when it comes to this school shooting in California. The shooter is dead. So he ain't going to hurt anybody else right now, that's for sure. And we're taking your phone calls at 702-257-5396. Just spoke with Daniel Lippman from Politico talking about these impeachment hearings. All right, we'll take another quick phone call here. Why don't we go to Brady? Brady, what do you think about this? What's up?
Yeah, good morning. I thought the biggest thing in that impeachment trial is that Democrats think hearsay is better than a written transcript from the president. The case
it wasn't a transcript. Hold on. You just said something that's not factually accurate. That was not a transcript.
Okay. I mean, how about something that's been written down onto a paper that's basically taken down as correct versus somebody
wrong once again. It was not word for word transcript. Even the White House is admitting that. And there are people that there are key.
We'll just go look what's in the transcript.
Okay, well, you're wrong. If you're going to call in, be factually accurate. There are people that heard the phone call, including a Purple Heart recipient, that said there were key things about the Bidens that were not put in there. So don't give me this crap that it was a transcript word for word, because it's not, Brady. If you're going to call in, be factually accurate.
Okay, let's just move on to this.
Yeah.
I think the second thing that I took from the impeachment hearings yesterday that was a bombshell is, guess who looked into Burisma in 2014?
Uh-huh.
Good Obama.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, wasn't
and
that
what was found? And what was found?
up.
And what was found? We also learned in the hearings yesterday that one of those witnesses said that there was no wrongdoing, that it was investigated, and he had his concerns as well. So you want to talk about a credible witness yesterday?
Mr. Kent looked into Burisma and actually told the Ukrainian government George Soros is behind it to not look into Burisma.
And then they learned that there was no evidence to support that. It was investigated, and the investigation is over with, Brady. So like you said, let's move on.
We're missing $67 million worth of money right now.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but like you just said, let's move on. What else would you like to say that's factually inaccurate this morning, Brady?
How about, you know what's inaccurate? When Mr. Schiff said he had never met with the whistleblower, Eric Scaramella.
You know what's amazing to me about people like you? You have Purple Heart recipients, and you have people that risk their lives for this country, and you want to discredit them, and then you come up with stuff that is completely factually inaccurate, Brady. You do it every time you call in. Every single time you call in.
So you don't think that Mr. Schiff met with Eric Scaramella?
Here's what I think. You want to know what I think, Brady? I'll tell you what I think. It is called an impeachment inquiry. There are people that have served this country honorably. That's right, honorably. That have risked their lives for this country, that have served for 20, 30, 40 years, some of which who were even appointed by the Trump administration, by Pompeo. They have absolutely and positively no reason to lie. And I find it very interesting that, again, you come up with these conspiracy theories, but you don't talk about the actual facts and the testimony from yesterday. I find that very, very interesting. And there's a simple explanation for it. If you're completely biased like Brady, if you've never criticized a Republican in your life, if you've never criticized Donald Trump, then obviously you're going to listen to these proceedings and think the president did absolutely nothing wrong and everybody's lying. Or you can be a logical human being, whether you support the president or not, and say, at the very least, what the president did was beyond inappropriate. beyond inappropriate, and now we're going to learn whether it's an impeachable offense or not. That's what these proceedings are all about. There are people on the right that want to call this charades. It's a waste of taxpayer money, yet we had 9 investigations into Benghazi. It's funny, no Republicans talked about a waste of taxpayer money there. 9 different investigations that showed absolutely no wrongdoing. Republicans didn't have a problem with those investigations, but when it comes to Donald Trump, oh boy, this is a charade. It's a waste of taxpayer money. You know, it's those same people that wanted Obama investigated for not being born in the United States of America, allegedly. Geez, I wonder who started that rumor. 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Let's go to Pete. Pete, you're next. What's up?
Good morning, Brian. Listen, we have no business whatsoever sending hundreds of millions of dollars to Russia so that the Russians can kill each other and fight over Black Sea oil.
Well, that's a different
energy pipeline.
That's a different.
Pipeline access
that's certainly
to the Syrian border.
That's certainly a different.
Europe.
That's certainly a different debate. I don't necessarily disagree with you in this sense. I don't, and this is sort of where I agree with Donald Trump. I can't believe I agree with him on something. I'm sick and tired of the United States of America helping all these other countries when many of these countries do nothing for us. Now, Pete, I kind of agree with you, but here's where I would hope that you would agree with me. It is inappropriate to hold aid to another country to dig up dirt on a political opponent, an American. You have to agree with me there, right?
Well, to some extent, but still, we're financing the continuation of World War II.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
And
I understand.
And people have to look at the map, and it's easy to recognize
Point
what's
taken.
an issue here.
Point taken,
Black
Pete.
Sea oil.
I understand. Point taken, Pete. And again, I don't disagree with you, but you have to find it just a little bit coincidental that a couple days before this phone call, he withholds aids and he tells people within his administration to withhold the aid, and then after that phone call, all of a sudden they get the aid. Don't you find that just a little bit coincidental?
Well, Trump is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't.
No, I disagree. I disagree. I disagree.
He's
Pete,
the bad guy no matter what.
Pete, if he didn't bring up Joe Biden in that conversation, there wouldn't be an impeachment inquiry. So you can't make that statement. If he doesn't bring up, which he didn't have to, by the way, he probably would win in 2020 anyway. If he doesn't bring up the Bidens in that conversation, if he doesn't hire that stupid Rudy Giuliani who's lost his marbles to talk to these people in the Ukraine about opening up an investigation into the Bidens, if he didn't do some of these ignorant, stupid things that could be criminal, then we wouldn't be talking about it. So don't tell me, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. It's very simple, Pete. Don't bring up Joe Biden in a conversation with the Ukrainians, and we're not having this conversation. All right, I'll take silence as Pete agrees with me. I might have changed his mind. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Again, that number, 257-5396. Let's go to William. William, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up?
Yeah, I'd like to just tell you, Brian, you're 1,000% wrong. Trump had every right to mention Biden because Clinton signed an executive order giving us the right to talk to foreign leaders.
Okay,
if you
first of all, you're wrong.
Look it up. You're a moron.
Okay, would you like to have a conversation, or you just want to call me names? Which one would it be, William? Would you like to have a conversation and debate what you just said? Yes or no? Okay, see, somebody doesn't have the intelligence to actually debate and have a conversation. So let me explain to William why he's the moron, okay? You have a right to speak to a president from any country. Nobody's denying that, so that's a dumb comment. What you do not have a right to do is you do not have the right to ask a foreign leader for help in digging up dirt and opening up an investigation on a political opponent. It is very easy and logical, and obviously somebody like William does not have a very high IQ, and he doesn't understand that. You cannot withhold aid and put pressure on a country or a president to dig up dirt on a political opponent. It's pretty simple, okay? It's pretty simple. So, William, you're not 1,000% wrong. You're 1,000,000,000% wrong. The same amount of money that Donald Trump claims he has in his bank account. Maybe he only has 1,000 in his bank account. So maybe we're on to something here, William. I don't know. 257-5396 is the number to call. Again, 702-257-5396. For me, this has absolutely nothing, zero to do with the fact that I dislike Donald Trump. Because if Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or anybody on the left did the exact same thing, I would be giving you the exact same speech. And trust me, there were a lot of things that Barack Obama did when he was president that I did not support. There were a lot of things that Barack Obama did that I did not like. I did not vote for Barack Obama. So you can't call in and make the assumption, oh, you're just a Trump hater. So, no, that's not who I am. I'm telling you right now, and you have people that are in the Trump administration, those who have served this country honorably. In the testimony yesterday that was stated, that Sondland said that Donald Trump cared more about the investigation into the Bidens than he actually did Ukraine and the government. He cared more about the Bidens. If that's not damning, I don't know what is. And we're going to hear more testimony in the coming days. Wait till John Bolton testifies, okay? Then I want to know what Republicans have to say. 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call, 257-5396. Let's go to Bruce. Bruce, you're next. What's up?
Hey, Brian, JD, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I want to make 3 quick points. Brian, God bless you. I agree with you probably 50% of the time.
That's not too bad. That's not a bad.
Anybody in my life I agree with all the time.
That's not a bad percentage.
That, I think something was wrong.
Hey, that means, hey, Bruce, that means I shoot like Shaquille O'Neal at the free throw line. That's not horrible.
JD, you guys are smart enough to realize that these type of things have been taking place with political people since day one, and to act like it's some big giant catastrophe because of the things he said to Ukraine, whether he did or didn't, is really, I mean, you're just denying the fact that it takes place all the time.
Okay, so let me be clear. No, let me respond. Let me respond. Bruce, let me respond to that. Hold on, Bruce. Pot him down. I'll keep him on, but pot him down. Bruce, I have to respond to what you just said. Where did I say ever in this radio program that I believe that this has never happened before? Where have I said ever on this show that this is the first time this has happened? I've never said that. In fact, I believe it's probably happened over and over again. But here's the difference. Donald Trump got caught. Now, if it did happen in the past, then I believe it has. I don't care whether it was a Democrat or Republican. If it's happened in the past, they should pay the price for it. Corruption happens in with politics all the time, sadly. So I don't know where you're coming from when you say that I've said on this show that, oh, you guys are making it like this has never happened before. Never have I ever said on this show that this sort of stuff has never happened before. Never. So, Bruce, with all due respect, you're wrong. You're making a gross assumption that is not true about our show and not true about me. Number to call, 257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. Oh, and by the way, if you have kids, Bruce, and your kid steals candy or does something that kids do, would you say, well, you know what? What you did was wrong. You shouldn't steal. But since other kids have done it in the past and they haven't been caught, we'll let it slide. No. You would tell your child or your kid, you're not allowed to steal from anybody, regardless of whether kids have done it in the past or not. I'm going to compare this to a child because I believe Donald Trump is a child. 257-5396, 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Francis, you're next on the Vegas Take. What do you think about all this? Go ahead.
Oh, let's get one thing straight. This is William, buddy. And guess
This is William? So, William, why did you hang up then? William? So you call up. Yeah, you know, I don't mind if you pot him up as long as he's going to be respectful. But William, why did you hang up? Are you afraid to have a debate with me? You call up with a you call up with a different name because you're a coward. That's what you do. Do you have bone spurs? Francis, you're a coward. You're a coward, Francis. You get one chance to call into this show and have a debate. You decided to hang up the phone because you're a coward. And then you call back up into the show with another name, you doofus. You're the moron. 257-5396. Let's go to Brian. Brian, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead.
Take a deep breath, Brian.
Well, Brian, let me ask you a question, okay? I always appreciate it when you call in. We don't always agree, and that's fine, but I appreciate it when you call in. What would you call somebody that calls in that immediately calls me a moron and is factually inaccurate, and then he decides to call back under a different name? What would you call somebody like that?
An upset caller, probably.
Okay, I would call it something else, but that's fine. We can disagree on that. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to commend you for being the first person I've heard actually call this the impeachment inquiry hearing, not impeachment hearing.
Well, because that's what it is.
Precisely. But if you listen to the news broadcast, both national, local, top and bottom of the radio news, they're all calling it an impeachment inquiry.
Well, that's not factually accurate. That's all.
The secret impeachment inquiry in the basement, and now we have the open impeachment inquiry. This is not an impeachment hearing yet. That's what this is to determine, correct?
Yes. If people are doing that, then they're obviously not doing their due diligence because it's an inquiry. Now, this could in the future be an impeachment hearing, but right now that's not what it is. It's an impeachment inquiry, and what that means, as you know, is Democrats and Republicans, I would hope, are trying to get all the facts put in place to see if this can move forward.
Precisely. But you're one of the few people who are articulating that. There's a proverb in the Old Testament. It says this: the first one who states his case seems right until the one comes after him to cross-examine him. That's Proverbs 18:17. Yesterday, when those two gentlemen gave their opening statements, wow, they really seemed impressive. But by the end of the day, the Democrats got their asses handed to them. And I'm telling you, it's one of the most devastating failures in the Schiff committee that I've ever witnessed. I watched it from start to finish. And by the end of the day, I'm telling you what, it was ugly.
Okay, but listen, as I said about 15 minutes ago, Brian, when you open up an investigation, you don't put your star witness on the stand right off the get-go. If you're a good attorney, you present your case, and whether you agree or disagree with those two that were on the stand, I can tell you right now they have a pretty damn good resume, both of them, and one of them was actually appointed by Pompeo. Now, I personally believe, that when we hear from Sondland, and we will probably hear from Bolton, it's going to be some damning testimony. Okay, I don't think this story is going away. Now, I'm not a big Schiff fan. I'm not a big Pelosi fan. But the bottom line here is I think there's a there. Okay, I think there's going to be firsthand knowledge. We're going to hear from Vindman. We're going to hear from Bolton. We're going to hear from Sondland. And Brian, unfortunately, I'm up against a hard break, so I got to get going. I appreciate the phone call. I want to give people a quick update on this shooting. We heard reports on CNN. You know, this is one of those things where when there's a school shooting, you get a lot of bad information. And we got some information that the shooter was dead. CNN reported that. So if you want to blame CNN, go ahead. ABC News is now saying that the suspect is in custody. So kind of changing the narrative here a little bit. Okay, coming up next, it's called the War on Christmas. That's right. A Democratic assemblyman from Wisconsin is going to be joining us next. His name is Jonathon Brostoff, and he's changed the Christmas tree to the holiday tree, and Republicans are going nuts. He'll be joining us next. You're listening to the Vegas Take. We'll be back right after this.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever. 99 cents plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pod sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Hi, this is Sabrina Chapman inviting you to join me every Sunday from noon to 12:30 p.m. for my new show, Mommies, Meetings, and Mimosas. We'll be interviewing the leading Las Vegas ladies that are handling business and motherhood like a boss. Only on 101.5 FM, 720 KDON.
Hey, it's Lee Goldberg of the GCI guys at Realty One Group. Do you know anyone that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, rent, move from California? If so, give them my number, 702-902-3029. All listeners of the Vegas Take get $1,000 in your hand back at closing. Hometown heroes, veteran, military, police, teacher, nurse, I'm giving you $2,000 back. That also goes for hospitality and casino employees. Free use of a moving truck for a day, 6 free months of home security. Call me, 702-902-3029, the GCI guys.
V is for victory, except on Saturdays when V is for veterans. That's Veterans Talk, The Forgotten Promise. Join us every Saturday from noon to 1.
Veterans Talk every Saturday at noon on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDON.
My son is a handsome young man. Like a movie star. There's no limit to what he can do. I don't know why he would ruin himself with alcohol. When I think about the happy boy he used to be and how sad his life is now, it breaks my heart. I love him as much as I ever did. Maybe more. But I don't understand why this is happening. My therapist recommended I go to Al-Anon family groups. He said Al-Anon members have lived through the same kinds of things that are happening to my family. I didn't want to go to Al-Anon, and I didn't want anyone to know how difficult it's been. But I'm glad I went. Is someone's drinking breaking your heart? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
The only FM news talk station in the Valley. 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
Special report. California school shooting. At least one person has died in school gunfire.
It was like bang and then bang, bang, bang. So like it was one just like pre-fire and then it was just 4 shots just directly after. Yeah.
Students were led out of Saugus High School just outside Los Angeles when the gunfire was heard about 20 minutes before classes began. And now, after a desperate search to find a gunman believed to have been a student at the school, Stephanie Elam tells us the manhunt is over. And new information, the suspect reportedly survived a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The L.A. County Sheriff Department, Alex Villanueva, the sheriff coming out with a tweet and saying that update regarding the shooting at Saugus High. Suspect is in custody and being treated at a local hospital.
Other hospital reports from Santa Clarita, at least 6 victims were being treated there. 2 had been reported in critical condition. The White House says President Trump is watching developments from the Oval Office. I'm Jan Johnson. The day after open-door testimony in the impeachment inquiry, top House Republican Kevin McCarthy says no damage was done to the president.
We did hear from the witnesses was that they had never spoken to President Trump. They had not met with the chief of staff. Their understanding, which is the foundation of the case for the Democrats, was based on secondhand information.
But House Speaker Nancy Pelosi sees it differently and says the president already acknowledged a crime.
But I am saying that what is the president has admitted to and says it's perfect, I said it's perfectly wrong. It's bribery.
A day after meeting President Trump at the White House, Turkey's President Erdogan is reportedly complaining about being urged to get rid of a missile defense system that Turkey bought from Russia. Turkish media says Erdogan called the proposal an infringement of Turkey's sovereign rights and said Turkey can't afford to harm its relationship with Russia. I'm Jan Johnson.
It's time to check the roads in the KDWN Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by your Southern Nevada Chevy dealer. I-15 northbound still closed between Lake Mead and Cheyenne Avenue. So bail early and use a surface street like Pecos or Las Vegas Boulevard and reconnect with I-15 at Cheyenne or points north like Craig. And a crash reported on the 215 Southern Beltway eastbound at Las Vegas Boulevard is at the exit ramp. Fall in love with a new Chevy during the Black Friday Deals event. Head to a Southern Nevada Chevy dealer. Get a great deal all month long on select Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. Chevrolet. Find new roads. I'm John Michaels from the KDWN Traffic Center.
Blue Emu Lidocaine Cream and Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Cream both are deep penetrating and odor-free. Beat the pain 2 ways and live life. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink. Available at nationwide retailers.
Are you responsible for paying your family's health insurance bill every month? Is your health insurance premium costing you nearly as much as your mortgage? Open enrollment is here and more affordable options may be available with the insurance companies of U.S. Health Group. Life happens and it's important to have the right coverage to protect your family. U.S. Health Group's licensed agents are available by phone or in person to guide you through our flexible choices and options available in your state. Time is limited. Open enrollment ends soon. So call now for more information. Call U.S. Health Group to arrange a free quote and speak with one of our dedicated agents today.
800-519-5582. 800-519-5582. That's 800-519-5582.
Plans are underwritten by Freedom Life Insurance Company of America, Enterprise Life Insurance Company, or National Foundation Life Insurance Company. This coverage is not available in all states, and some exclusions or limitations may apply in your state.
Don't buy a new car until you hear this. Centennial Toyota is putting Black Friday savings on every vehicle for not just one day or even one weekend, but all month long. Yes, Centennial Toyota announces Black Friday savings all month long. We're making it easier than ever to get you out of that old car and into a new Toyota. Lease a new 2019 Toyota RAV4 just $199 a month. That's the all-new redesigned RAV4 with room for the whole family, just $199 a month. Or Or shop hundreds of your favorite Toyota models, Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, Tacomas, Highlanders, Prius, and more. Hurry in for Black Friday savings all month long at Centennial Toyota. Conveniently located on North US 95 and the 215 Beltway. Or visit us at centennialtoyota.com. On approved credit, example model number 4430, 36 months, $39.99 due at signing, 0 security, excludes taxes, title, and $4.99 dealer fees. Expires 12/2/2019.
The jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. So if you're a middle school student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. A public service message from America's Navy.
The Las Vegas Health and Fitness Chamber, a nonprofit organization, offers many membership benefits to both business and individuals. Reach us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or on the website, vegashealthfitnesschamber.com.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON. Right now, the biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on a Thursday. Of course, we have to report on, the breaking news and the sad news. Now we're learning in this high school shooting in California, one patient has died. We've also learned that the shooter is in custody, injured. That's all the information we have at this point. And of those that were hurt, at least 2 now are in critical condition. This is Saugus High School in Santa Clarita, about 40 miles outside of Los Angeles. We will, of course, keep you monitored on this situation. Our producer, Jason Stein, is in studio. He's from Wisconsin. A very interesting story coming out of that area. So, Jason, we have a special guest on the line. Before we get to him, set the scene for what's going on out there.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Terrible.
Well, I keep tabs on my home state of Wisconsin. There's some crazy politics. Always something new coming out of the Capitol. The latest, for a little bit of background here, we had Governor Scott Walker for years and years in office. He was voted out of office recently, last year. We have a new governor, Democrat Tony Evers. Okay, Tony Evers decided to do away with Scott Walker's tradition of calling the Capitol Christmas tree a Christmas tree, and Governor Evers declared it be called the holiday tree. And I think he went a step further and even offered students the chance to come and put some science-themed ornaments on it. But we'll have to ask our guests. But anyway, so here's the thing. So you got a Democratic governor calling it a Christmas tree, a holiday tree. Republicans who run the Assembly and the Senate in that state are very upset by this, very upset that they changed the name. They passed a bill, I believe yesterday or the day before, declaring that the holiday tree be called a Christmas tree. This is what they spent their time on. They are bickering. Lawmakers in Wisconsin are bickering over a tree. One lawmaker even went one step further, proposed a bill that the week of Thanksgiving now in Wisconsin be declared Bible Week, and it passed 86-9 in the Assembly. I could have some of my facts wrong, so let's get our guest on the line. This guy represents me, used to represent me, I should say, when I lived in Milwaukee. It's Jonathon Brostoff, Democrat Assemblyman from Wisconsin.
Yeah, so let's get him on the line right now. It's Democrat Representative Jonathon Brostoff, and we wanted to get his take on this whole situation. Jonathon, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. And, yeah, what an awful story out of California. Just day after day, it feels like, we're hearing more and more about these school shootings, mass shootings, and acts of domestic terrorism.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up with us because you made some interesting statements that I want to get to. Listen, all you guys wanted to do out there was call a Christmas tree a holiday tree, and a lot of Republicans are up in arms over it. And this is the statement you made. You said that these Republicans, instead of doing something substantive and helpful, they're trying to politicize a tree. And I believe you also said if they really want to do something, if they want to help Christians, they should pass gun control bills to keep them from getting killed if they really want to get something done. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, we have in Wisconsin, like unfortunately the rest of the country, we have some serious issues with gun violence prevention that we're not unfortunately doing enough because we're being strangled by our Republican lawmakers who in turn are completely under the control of the NRA. And so this year we've spent more time discussing the name of a tree than debating how we can prevent gun violence in Wisconsin. Now this is after we had tons of people from groups like Moms Demand Action and for Wisconsinites against gun violence.
Now, Jonathan, I don't mean to laugh, but it's pathetic, and I'm kind of on your side on this one. This is ridiculous. You're right. I mean, we're talking about the name of a tree. Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, and we've literally spent more legislative floor time on that than on gun violence prevention. Now, this is also in the wake of the governor calling for a special session. You can call on the legislature to come in and do something, and they did not even spend a minute discussing the special session topic of gun violence prevention. Instead, they want to spend all this floor time instead of a substantive issue on the name of a tree, because instead, what it is, and it's a little more insidious than you're making it out to be too. I'm going to give it to you straight. What's going on is we basically have a fake manufactured crisis in order to distract and to beef up what the Republicans cynically call the quote-unquote culture war and not do anything to actually help people's lives, make working Wisconsinites and people in Wisconsin better off economically, healthcare, and very importantly, preventing more gun violence.
So let me,
and I also think it's quite ironic because this is coming on the heels of our Republican Party in the legislature and led by Robin Voss specifically denying access for month after month for 8 months to one of our colleagues who was a quadriplegic because a drunk driver hit him and killed his family and permanently injured him. But he went on to become a lawmaker and a lawyer and very accomplished.
Good for
and
him.
A great guy. But he needed certain ways to properly access his job, such as being able to call in for a committee as they do in our other legislative chamber, which the speaker took
Jonathan,
away.
let me...
that's not very, Christian to me. That's not, the way that a religious person would behave.
Well, I would agree.
They want to talk all this religion and walk away from it when it comes to anything policy-wise.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to get in a few more questions here if I can. And if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Democratic Assemblyman from Wisconsin, Jonathon Brostoff, and they've turned the Christmas tree name into the holiday tree name. I'll be honest with you, I don't care what it's called. It could be called the Jesus tree, the holiday tree, the Christmas tree. I really don't care. But I want to talk to you a little bit about a Republican representative in your neck of the woods. His name is Paul Tittl. Now, Paul Tittl has put in, correct me if I'm wrong, some sort of law put in place to change the name Thanksgiving week into Bible week. Can you tell me? And by the way, Tittl is going to be joining us, and he's going to be able to defend himself coming up here in a few minutes. But, Jonathan, what do you make of this?
Well, Paul's a friend of mine, and we talk regularly, and he's been, someone I've worked together on issues including deaf rights and deaf access. But on this, I mean, it's basically a resolution that is completely symbolic, and this happens from time to time. There'll be in honor of a sports team, for example, or a cheesemaker or something else that we want to highlight in Wisconsin. And this is what he chose to highlight with it. And again, I mean, I have no problem with, Paul on a personal level. But what I would like to see from him and the other Republican leaders on the other side of the aisle is to stop dragging their feet on issues like gun violence prevention, which Wisconsinites, over 80%, are screaming for because people are literally dying. And they want to spend, they want to waste our time politicizing stuff and trying to make hay out of nothing and formulate this, fake culture war instead of actually saving lives. And that gets under my skin. And it's not about one particular leader. It's the whole Republican Party right now. And it's all the Republican politicians who, unfortunately, are being totally strangled out by the NRA. And I've talked to some personally, and they've told me, we don't necessarily agree with these policies. We'd like to do something. But if we act, we're going to get an A- as opposed to an A from our NRA grade, and that's going to mean we can't win another primary, so I can't do what I'd like to do. And that's the unfortunate truth of what's going on in politics right now.
Well, listen, Jonathan, I appreciate the fact that you're giving your side of this. You're welcome to come back on our show anytime. We want to hear both sides, so Representative Paul Tittl will be up next year. But, Jonathan, thank you so much for stating your case. We appreciate it very much, and we'll have you on again soon, okay?
Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jason, for reaching out.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate
thanks a lot, Jonathan.
Appreciate it. Okay, so now that we've heard that side, now we're going to hear the other side. So joining us right now on the line is Representative Paul Tittl who is a Republican, and he is one of those that put forth, changing the name of Thanksgiving week to Bible week, and he joins us on the line right now. Mr. Tittl, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing great, Paul.
So as you know, we just had Democrat Jonathon Brostoff on the line. Now we want to hear your take on this. I would imagine you heard the interview. First of all, let me ask you this. Why do you want to change the name Thanksgiving week to Bible week? Give me your reasons for that.
Well, it's actually a resolution, and it was just encouraging people to read their Bible. We found that back in 1941, a Democrat, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, actually passed the first resolution that declared the week of Thanksgiving as National Read Your Bible Week. And we just thought, we get people more back to their roots, get them back to their faith, and get them reading their Bible. There is, so much turmoil in the world, as you know. You guys do the news, and it's a great thing. It doesn't harm anyone.
Okay, so let me respond to that. I agree with you. There is a lot of turmoil in the world. Sadly, as you may or may not be aware, there was another school shooting in California this morning. How is reading the Bible going to end school shootings?
Well, I'm not sure that I have all the answers for ending all the school shootings. I know California has some of the most strictest gun control laws, and yet they still have some of the greatest, most horrific shootings. And so I don't know that you're going to just necessarily remove evil from the world, but getting people closer to God is not going to hurt anything.
I don't necessarily think getting people closer to God is going to hurt anything, and I would never make that statement, although I would make the statement that religion in general, millions and millions of people have died because of their faith and because of their religion, sadly, and that's not your fault. That's not any good man or woman's fault. But I will say, listen, let's talk about what Jonathon Brostoff just said last segment, and he said that he believes that you're not taking, he says he respects you, but he says, and you're a friend, but he says he doesn't feel like you're taking enough time to change some of the gun laws in your own state. Instead, you're more focused on changing the name Thanksgiving week to Bible week. What would be your response to that?
Well, we are capable of multitasking. Some of the proposals that have come forth have been not necessarily good support of our Second Amendment rights. I believe in the Second Amendment. And by the way, I've never gotten a dime from the NRA, so I don't understand where people are thinking that we're beholden to the NRA. Because
not you, but I think the president is. I think the president is absolutely beholden to. I'm not saying you are.
Yeah, but that's what we get lumped in. I had a listening session back in my hometown recently, and a guy says, "Oh yeah, how much money did you get from the NRA?" I haven't got a dime. So,
and you know what? Listen, I applaud you. Listen, Paul, I applaud you for that. But sadly, as you know, there are many other Republicans out there not like you that are accepting money from the NRA. So I applaud you, and I respect your opinions on that. And to be honest with you, I respect you more for that. And I think I respect your opinion more than many of those others that are in the pockets of the NRA. But let me ask you this. A lot of Republicans think that Democrats want to take the Second Amendment away and want to take all your guns away. And I could be the first to tell you, I've never heard one Democrat in office say they want to take all your guns away. Beto O'Rourke might be the extreme, and he wants to take all of your assault weapons away, which I think is ridiculous. That's never going to happen. We all could agree on that. But wouldn't you agree that in these cases of some of these mass shootings and many of these mass shootings, some of these weapons probably shouldn't be sold on the streets? They're weapons of war that should be used by our military and by our law enforcement. Why should someone be able to buy a weapon that is only used for one purpose and made for one purpose, and that's mass casualties?
Well, I don't know that they're necessarily made for one purpose and used for one purpose, because I know some people that in Wisconsin, we have a big hunting tradition here in Wisconsin, use some of them very same guns for hunting deer, coyotes, whatever.
No, and I agree. Maybe I misspoke. I'm not saying these guns are only used for one purpose. Obviously, they're not, thank God. But what I'm saying is these assault weapons were first made for one reason only, and that was for mass casualties in war. And that's why I say, why do these guns need to be sold on the streets?
Well, the other thing is I got to ask, and I think you had it spot on when you were talking earlier. I was listening, and you were talking about there's been signs of problems of people, and people don't say stuff.
Sure.
And people need to say stuff. Almost everyone, even going, like you said, going back to Columbine, there is stuff that it's kind of like a science. Like, wait a minute, somebody should notice. Somebody needs to say something. It's
Sure.
almost like when you're talking about terrorism.
Sure.
To see something, say something. I think we need to get to that because if you
Paul, I agree, but
something
why
that's-
can't we do both? Why can't we do both?
Well, I will tell you, again, California, some of the strictest gun laws in the world, but yet they're still happening. What is the next step then?
There are not proper red flag laws, or at least not tough enough red flag laws in place in California. Yes, there are stricter gun laws in general. I agree with you, but those red flag laws, in my personal opinion, need to be tougher.
Yeah. Now, in which state would have the best red flag law? I guess that I would ask you about.
I wouldn't know which state has the best red flag law. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not going to lie. What I can tell you is that in many of these school shootings, and I will go back to Parkland, the Parkland school shooting, when the police officers are called to that young man's house close to 80 times, and yet he's still allowed to buy a weapon, something is wrong in our society.
Definitely something wrong. And we as Republicans a few years ago actually did something to fix more of our background checks in the state of Wisconsin to try to make sure that mental health is fed into the background system because I chair the mental health committee in Wisconsin, and Jonathon is on that committee with me as well. And I will tell you that there's some mental health problems with people that are doing this. That's not normal for them, for anybody to be doing that type of shooting.
Of course. We agree on that, and we probably agree with more things than we disagree with. If you're just joining us with us on the line right now, he is a representative there in Wisconsin. His name is Paul Tittl, a Republican. All right, let's go back to this Thanksgiving thing real quick, because that's the main reason why we wanted to have you on.
Sure.
Listen, I've never read the Bible before. It's not because I'm not a Christian. It's just because I just don't care. That's just me. And I know you would disagree with me, and a lot of people would. I'm not an atheist. I do believe that there's a God out there. But I think there are better and again, this is just my personal opinion. I think there are better things you can do with your time than read the Bible. That's just my personal opinion. But I would never take that right away from you. I think everybody is entitled to their faith, to their religion. It's the separation of church and state. I don't like the fact that we have a vice president that is so anti-gay. And listen, if you don't agree with gay marriage, that's fine. I don't mind that. But his wife works in a school where they don't allow homosexuals to go to school there or work there, and I just think that's disgusting. Again, that's just my opinion. But let's go back to this Bible Week thing. Everybody calls it Thanksgiving, with all due respect. It's this national annual holiday, right? And generally, it's modeled on, correct me if I'm wrong, the 1621 harvest feast shared by the English colonists and the Pilgrims. So why do you want to change it to Bible Week when there are probably a good portion of the population out there that do not read the Bible?
Well, and you know what? And that's fine. And that's what makes this country the greatest place to live, because we do have that freedom of religion and a freedom to believe or a freedom not to believe. And that's why our founding fathers and the Pilgrims actually came here way back when, so that they could actually express their own beliefs or non-beliefs if they have it. And so I am not opposed to anybody, and I totally respect if you don't want to read the Bible. That is perfectly fine with me, and I'm okay with that. But I will tell you that it's very important to me, and it's important to a lot of people. And so we're just putting it out there. Again, this isn't a law. It was just a simple resolution. And I'm kind of amazed at how much people are grabbing a hold of this. And again, this is not something, whether you read the New or Old Testament, I don't care. There's, throughout history, many religions, including Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, have acknowledged the various biblical texts. I mean, there's a lot of little different sayings that you may even have said them in your own time, like going the extra mile. Pride becomes before the fall. Seeing the writing on the wall, a fly in the ointment, falling by the wayside, at our wits' end, and doing something in the 11th hour.
So let me ask you this. This was passed on behalf of everyone in the state by the government. I think you made a very clear statement. This is important to you, and I'm not saying you're the only one. Obviously, it's important to others as well. But again, it's what I talk about all the time, the separation between church and state. You have the right to believe in whatever you want to believe in, but why?
Absolutely.
But and again, you're a born-again Christian. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Why not just believe in what you believe in? And in your home, if you want son, daughter, wife, whatever the case may be, let's not call it Thanksgiving week. Let's call it Bible week. But why make everybody else call it that?
Well, I guess I guess I understand it a little bit more in a little bit different way, is that because of what Jesus Christ did for me and what his death on the cross is so important to me, and I don't want to force anybody on anything, but I want to share that with other people because it is so important to me. And
But isn't there a difference between, and I respect that very much so, but isn't there a difference between sharing it and changing a name, a state law, or whatever you want to call it, put in place to change Thanksgiving into Bible Week? Sharing it and doing that, to me, are two completely different things.
Well, actually, we didn't sign it into law. All we did was pass a resolution saying it's National Read Your Bible Week, the week of Thanksgiving. And we didn't change Thanksgiving. We didn't change anything. We're just saying it's not, hey, get back to reading your Bible if you choose to, whether it be Old or New Testament, whether it be the Quran or whatever. I know there was a lot of talk about the Christmas tree, and I know Jonathan brought up a little bit about the Christmas tree. But, I would fight very strongly if somebody in our capital, we have a menorah, we have a Festivus pole, we have a Christmas tree. If somebody if the governor said to us, I don't want that menorah called the menorah anymore because it's too Jewish. I want it to be called the candelabra, okay? I would fight tooth and nail for my Jewish friends, like Jonathan, to make sure that does not change because that is part of his rich history.
Okay, and that's fair, but I will respond by saying this. That's a Jewish holiday. I would not say Thanksgiving is a Christian holiday. I would think Thanksgiving is a holiday that includes all religions. I think what you're talking about with a menorah and when you're talking about Hanukkah or whatever you're talking about, that is specific to the Jewish faith. Unfortunately, Representative Paul Tittl, I am up against a hard break. I am out of town, but I really do appreciate your side. I appreciate you stating your case, and I love to hear both sides of the issue, and I think you did it very eloquently. I respect your opinion, and thank you so much for taking some time to join us. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you, and say hello to Jason Stein for me.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. All right, there you go. Paul Tittl. Listen, I like hearing both sides. I'm not a religious person. I'm not going to fake it and say I am. I'm not. But people are entitled to their own opinions. I just don't like it when religion is forced onto others, whether that's an ordinance or changing the name of a holiday. I think it's ridiculous. That's just my opinion. But we appreciate his opinion, and we appreciate both Jonathan coming on and Paul Tittl as well. I like saying that name, by the way. That's a cool name, Paul Tittl. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear the news with John Schaefer. You're not going to believe what Kellyanne Conway did on CNN. We'll get to that coming up next.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDARN.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever, 99 cents, plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pods sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Do you know if you have enough savings to retire comfortably? If not, it's time to talk to Travis Scribner, managing partner of Westpac Wealth Partners, about developing a plan to build your wealth for the future. Visit LasVegasMoneyResource.com.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
Hi, this is Trooper Chelsea Stunkel with the Nevada Highway Patrol, reminding drivers that with the recent legalization of recreational use of marijuana, it is still a form of impairment when you get behind the wheel. So please don't drive impaired. If you drive high, you will get a DUI.
My name is Tim Mullen. I'm the Center Director for USO Las Vegas. We rely heavily on our volunteers. They're the heart and soul of our organizations, the one on the front lines greeting our service members and their guests, whether it's through our lounges at the airport or all the outreach events that we do on base. So we encourage anyone interested in getting involved to volunteer with the USO and support our local military community. Our service members and their families can use your help. You can get involved by going online to volunteers.uso.org or calling us at 702-261-6590.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON.
Special report, California school shooting. A hospital says one female has died. 2 males are in critical condition after gunfire in a Southern California high school just before classes began, sent students running.
I never looked back, and we just all kept running. Like, we were all helping each other, like, oh, do you have a ride? Do you have a ride? Because, like, it was just like a big group of us just running through this neighborhood.
The manhunt for a gunman believed to have been a fellow student at Saugus High School is over. Jim Roop has been following those developments.
According to law enforcement sources, eyewitness accounts and video identified the alleged shooter, and his cell phone was apparently pinged at a residence not too far from the school. Law enforcement executed a search warrant at the residence, and not too long after that, we're told the shooter is no longer a threat. The LA County Sheriff's Department then tweeted the suspect is in custody and is being treated at a local hospital.
Schools in and around Santa Clarita immediately went on. The White House says President Trump has been monitoring what's happening. I'm Jan Johnson.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Sam and Ash. Watch for slowing for the accident I-15 southbound at Sahara and an accident on the Southern Beltway eastbound at Windmill Lane. Vehicles off to the left. On the surface streets, watch for slowing for a traffic hazard. Reported Sammy Davis Jr. at Circus Drive. Maybe debris on the roadway. And an accident at Nellis Boulevard at Cincinnati Avenue. Sam and Ash are the personal injury attorneys in your corner. Why? Because you deserve what's right. Visit them now at samandash.com. That's samandash.com. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Enough with the fees already. Bad check fees, credit card fees, late rent fees, and those huge payday loan fees. We can help and safely lend you up to $5,000 in minutes to cover your payments and avoid those fees. You don't need a checking account, perfect credit, or collateral, and it's 100% free to apply and see how much you qualify for. If you need the loan for 1 day, 1 week, or 1 year, it doesn't matter at the DLC. You only pay interest for the time you have the loan out. There are no application fees or prepayment penalties. Nothing, really. We offer small weekly payments and make it easy to pay your loan back because of our fantastic rates. Join over 250,000 satisfied customers and let us help you out. It's okay to need a loan and borrow money as long as you're getting a fair deal.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet minimum loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
O'Reilly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for our See Better, Drive Safer sale. Right now, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Sylvania bulbs for your headlights. Plus, earn double O-Rewards points. Visit your professional parts people today at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Does your child love math? Do they just love math so much that once they finish their homework, they want to work on extra math problems just for fun? Anyone? If you answered no, then you are not alone. While your child may not think math is important for their future, we know better. That's because Infinity the Math Institute offers the best math tutors in Las Vegas, produces the best results at the best prices for kids of all ages. Infinity the Math Institute does it all. Does your child need prep for the SATs? Right now, SAT preparation classes in November are just $15. Fractions, algebra, geometry, decimals, you name it. Plus, Infinity offers homeschool programs, free seminars for parents and students, and whether your child is transitioning from elementary school to middle school to high school, or preparing for college, Infinity can help. Classes are filling up. Call us now to find out more. 702-768-1777. That's 768-1777. You want the best results for your child? One call to Infinity can have a huge impact on your child's future. Call now, 768-1777. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you.
You let him try violin because you love him.
And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
I don't get any credit for this, but that's okay. I never do.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on a Thursday. Hey, I just want to say, one of my favorite comedians growing up. I love this guy. Marlon Wayans will be joining us in hour number 3. He's got a show coming up here in Vegas tomorrow night. I want Mo Money, too. That's what I want. I want another Mo Money movie with Damon. That's what I want.
Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Yeah, exactly. And I want another scary movie. I want another White Chicks. Ooh, that's what I'm going to ask him.
I want another Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Well, I want to know in this day and age if he thinks he could make another White Chicks. That's what I want to ask him coming up in hour number 3. Ask him how his brother Damon is doing, and Keenan Ivory as well. He's got a very talented family, to say the least.
Yeah,
all right, that is the voice
absolutely.
of John Schaefer. He is the news anchor here at KDWN. John, what do you got? What's going on?
Well, as you have been discussing all morning, there was the shooting at a high school outside of Los Angeles. Sheriff Alex Villanueva says the suspect in that shooting is in custody. Suspect is a student, was one of several people taken to a hospital after the shooting this morning, and the suspect is alive. The Southern California hospital does say, however, one female has died. There are 2 males still in critical condition and another male patient in good condition. School district spokesman Dave Caldwell said all campus lockdowns in the area have been lifted except for the one at Saugus High School where the shooting happened.
Oh, it's just so horrible. You hear it, and listen, it's not like there's anything wrong with saying thoughts and prayers, and obviously we all feel that way when it comes to that poor young girl who lost her life and those who were injured and hurt. But with that being said,
I mean, it's an insult at this point if you just say thoughts and prayers.
It is an insult at this point. I
agree.
agree.
I care kind of. I care enough to make people think that I care, but I don't really care that much.
Well, watch
because I don't want to try to stop from happening again.
I guarantee you 100% Mike Pence, within the next 24 hours, will go on social media and say thoughts and prayers because he is a coward. It is one thing if you say thoughts and prayers and you actually want to do something to solve the problem. It's another thing if you are Mike Pence and say thoughts and prayers and he cares more about banning gay marriage than he does about gun control. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. Go ahead, Mr. Schaefer.
Well, a Las Vegas woman was arrested on child endangerment charges after her son found her gun in his backpack in class and immediately turned it over to his 3rd grade teacher.
How nice.
Clark County School District Police say the gun wasn't loaded, there was no ammo in the backpack, and the boy said he had no idea the weapon was in there. His mother, 36-year-old Iris Guerrero, was arrested at the school after acknowledging the gun was hers.
I mean, John, imagine if a student, the wrong kind of student, finds that gun and gets into an argument with another student. Can't you hold that parent liable? You have to, right?
Yeah, that's why they arrested her.
Yeah, that's why we always talk about parents and responsibility. Oh, God, that is scary.
And why are you hiding your gun in your kid's backpack?
And by the way, who returned? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
who returned it? Was it a student that?
The kid, no,
the actual kid who had the gun.
The actual kid reached in his backpack in class to get something for class and found the gun and immediately told his teacher, "There's a gun in my backpack."
Well, then he's a hero. Then he's a hero, and thank God that the young man did that because God knows what horrible things could happen.
Yeah, and then through the investigation, they realized it was the mom's, and that's
thank God, a smart young man that doesn't take after his stupid mom.
Tourism officials have approved a second Las Vegas marathon. It's going to be run beneath the glittering marquees of the Strip. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority authorized spending $150,000 to promote the race on the first Saturday in April, beginning in 2021. Main difference between the new Las Vegas Rock and Roll Marathon and the one that is run in November is that the new one will occur on a Saturday night instead of Sunday.
Haven't you run in the Las Vegas Marathon before?
No, I ran in the Great Santa Race.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so how that Las Vegas Marathon, that's long. It goes all the way up to North Vegas?
Yeah, it's 26.3 miles.
That is so cool, though, what they do.
Hence a marathon.
That's kind of long, yeah. 20. Is that what an average
campaign is saying? Mouthing behind your head.
Look at me. Do I look like someone that runs in marathons? Are you kidding me? I can't even walk to work. I live like a block away.
Right,
I mean,
but the new one is going to be on Saturday, meaning they're going to shut the Strip down on a Saturday night.
Well, that's really smart.
In April.
Yeah, who decided to do that?
The LVCVA.
Well, that's a really smart decision. That'll really help tourism. Great job. Real smart.
And the M Resort is going to be the official Raiders team headquarters hotel. The deal was announced yesterday. The M, just a few miles from the under-construction Raiders headquarters. Penn National Gaming, owners of the M, said they will also open a Raiders-themed restaurant and bar, a Raiders store, and will offer guests official Raiders-branded experiences. The M is where the Raiders will stay before every home game.
It is amazing. We are like 7 or 8 months out from the finishing of this stadium.
I know.
And from actual workouts. in Henderson. We're like 7 months out. I mean, it's amazing how this just creeps up on you. The same thing happened with the T-Mobile Arena in the Knights. Before you knew it, they were here. It's awesome.
Crazy.
Man. Yeah, it's an exciting time for Vegas and sports. All right, Mr. Schaefer, appreciate your time, my friend. My condolences to your Las Vegas Golden Knights, who got absolutely destroyed last night by the Chicago Blackhawks.
Terrible.
It was really bad. All right, thanks, John. Appreciate your time. All right, here's what we're going to do. Since I love my listeners, all of them, John. I love all of my listeners.
Each and every one?
Each and every
Name
one.
them.
Even the ones that call me names. No, I don't want to do that. But because that'll take too long. But I have a pair of tickets to give away. It's pretty much like an open bar. I mean, let's call it for what it is. This is a really cool thing to give out. It's called the Lee's Discount Liquor 17th Annual Wine Experience. It features over 1,000 wines from around the world at the Thomas & Mack Center. This is Saturday, November 16th, so it's this Saturday. And you have to be at least 21 years of age. We're not going to give anybody tickets as under 21 because I think that might be against the law. And you have to pick them up no later than Friday, this November 15th at 5 p.m. I am going to take the fifth caller right now, 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call is 257-5396. Basically, it's like an open bar. Pretty damn cool. Again, it's the Lee's Discount Liquor 17th Annual Wine Experience. I have a pair of tickets to get you right now. You will win those tickets. Caller number 5. Once again, that number, 257-5396, 702-257-5396, and I am going to hook you up with a pair of tickets to this really cool event this Saturday at the Thomas & Mack Center. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you are not going to believe what Kellyanne Conway said on CNN. It is awesome, and I'm actually going to defend Kellyanne Conway, John Schaefer, and I am going to go after CNN. Can you believe it? It's amazing.
Am I listening to the right show?
I don't think you are. And Sean Hannity's coming up next, by the way, after us. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is the Vegas Take. Be back right after this.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, Protect My Car is announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-715-5137 now. Drivers who are covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free car rental at no additional cost. Call Protect My Car for your free quick quote today. 800-715-5137. 800-715-5137. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-715-5137.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
Consider making a really positive, lasting impact in the life of a child. I'm Molly Lathan for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Nevada. Our goal is to put together long-term friendships. Many people don't know that it only takes 4 to 6 hours a month. Be a role model, a support, be a wise adult sounding board, and basically just be their friend. Please visit our website at bbbsn.org and click on volunteer.
The Vegas Strong Resiliency Center is a safe haven, a place for residents, visitors, and responders affected by the tragic events of the 1 October shooting incident. Staffed with compassionate professionals, services include victim advocacy and support, counseling referrals, and help accessing the FBI's Victim Assistance Services website. The center is located at 1524 Pinto Lane. It's open weekdays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. For more information, call 702-455-AID or 1-833-2998.
Steve Sanchez, weekdays 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
We do know this is up.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. God, I love this Pearl Jam. It's like a Pearl Jam day today. I'm liking this bumper music. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Congratulations to our winner of that Lee's Discount Liquor 17th Annual Wine Experience. We'll have more tickets to give away tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I always like taking care of my listeners, my Republican friends or Democratic friends. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your politics are or what you look like. We always like giving out as many gifts as we can to our listening audience. So a lot of people on the right like to attack CNN. And some of it is warranted, some of it is not. I believe Fox News does the exact same stuff that CNN does. And I believe after 5 p.m., when you have the opinionated shows, they're all biased. Let's call it for what it is. Don Lemon is biased to the left. Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, biased to the right. You're going to get biased in the media, okay? But it's the shows before 5 p.m. You'd like to see them not be biased. So Wolf Blitzer is very old, okay? Not to say that somebody that is very old shouldn't be on TV, because some are better than others. Wolf Blitzer has been in the business a very long time. I think he sucks. I don't think he's very good at interviewing people. I don't think he's very good at reading a teleprompter. Get somebody younger in there. Get a Shepard Smith in there, for Christ's sake. I never liked Wolf Blitzer. Now, listen, I really don't like Kellyanne Conway. And the reason why I don't like Kellyanne Conway is because all she does is lie for the president. She's an enabler, just like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They're enablers for the president. The president can do no wrong, and they lie for a living. That's what they do. So it's an interesting dynamic with Kellyanne Conway because, of course, as you know, she's married to attorney George Conway. Now, I don't think George Conway has much credibility either. And you might be saying, well, Brian, why? I mean, for somebody like you who dislikes the president, you should be praising George Conway. Here's why I don't. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, George Conway blasts the president on social media every day. Meanwhile, his wife is the White House counselor to the president. I believe there's one reason why George Conway does this. It is to get his name out there, to make himself popular on social media. I'm not even sure George Conway believes the things he says on a regular basis. Because his wife is Kellyanne Conway, and because he's an attorney, I think this is helping his career. I think that is the only reason why he blasts Donald Trump on a regular basis. So I don't give the Conways any, I guess you could say, precedence. I don't give them, I don't think they're legitimate with anything they do. I have no idea what Kellyanne Conway's real views of Donald Trump are. I don't think we'll ever know. Same thing with George Conway. So anyway, the reason why I bring this up is because Kellyanne Conway made an appearance on Wolf Blitzer yesterday. And I want you to listen to this first exchange where Wolf Blitzer is asking Kellyanne Conway a question that I think is completely ridiculous. Here it is.
I just have a final question, a sensitive question, and it's a political question. It's a substantive question. I don't want to talk about your marriage. I know that there are issues there. Your husband, George Conway, he's a lawyer.
Did you just say?
Your husband, George Conway.
Did you just say there are issues there? You don't want to talk about marriage?
I don't want to talk about. No, I don't want to talk.
Why did you say that? I
don't want to talk about your marriage. I don't want to talk about I want to talk about a substantive point that your husband, George Conway, made. He was on television all day yesterday during the first day of the impeachment hearings, and he said this about the President of the United States. I just want your reaction to the substance of what he said.
So before you play the clip, which I haven't seen, why? And why are you doing that?
Because he's a legal scholar, he's a lawyer, and he was really going after the President of the United States, and he was all over television yesterday.
And come on.
I just want you to,
And he's married to me?
Well, he is married to her, but why would you say there are issues in their marriage? What are you doing, Wolf? I think a fair question would be like the fact that this is your husband and he has different political views from you. Here's what he had to say. But I wouldn't say that there are issues in their marriage. Well, I don't understand what Wolf Blitzer is talking about. So it goes on. After Wolf played the clip, I want you to hear this. This is Kellyanne Conway's response to the clip.
It's the same stuff all the time. What you just quoted is said every single day by other voices, but you wanted to put it in my husband's voice because you think somehow that that'll help your ratings or that you're really sticking it to Kellyanne Conway. And let me make very clear, you didn't stick it to Kellyanne Conway. I think you embarrassed yourself, and I'm embarrassed for you because this is CNN now, I looked up to you when I was in college and law school. I would turn on CNN to see what Wolf Blitzer had to say about war, famine, disruption abroad. I really respected you for all those years as somebody who would give us the news, and now the news is what somebody's husband says.
Do you know how many times?
All right. Well, I don't necessarily disagree with her. I think there's plenty of questions you could ask Kellyanne Conway in this climate. You don't have to ask her questions about what her husband said on Twitter or what he did in some interview. So this is a continuation now. She really went after CNN yesterday. This is Kellyanne, in her own words, continuing to attack CNN.
CNN gave me a chance. They hired me in 1996. I'm sure your viewers will freak out when they hear that. When very few people were paid to go on TV. 1996, you were always kind to me, Bernie Shaw, Judy Woodruff, a lot of people. And when I was just starting out in my career, in my polling career and on TV. And I just can't believe that it's come to conversations like this.
All right. So my opinion on this whole thing is you have her on. Now, if this was a 30-minute interview, like, for example, a radio interview, 25 or 30 minutes, I'd probably bring up her husband. Here's what I would say. How are those dinner table conversations like? Obviously, you guys disagree when it comes to Donald Trump. Can you explain to us what it is like, dinner at the Conways, and do you guys discuss Donald Trump? And does it bother you personally that your husband is out there in the media discrediting the president and basically saying the opposite of a lot of the things that you say? That's the way I would present the question. The last thing I would do is do what Wolf Blitzer did, meaning I wouldn't say, hey, Kellyanne, I don't want to talk about your marriage. I know you have issues there. She was right. I'm going to defend her in this situation. She was right to go after Wolf Blitzer. The man doesn't know how to conduct an interview. He doesn't have it anymore. These guys that are too old to do their job, I believe Wolf Blitzer is not fit to do his job, just like I believe Donald Trump is not fit to be the president. Wolf Blitzer should not be on CNN.
Should Don Cherry be on Sportsnet?
Well, that's a completely different issue because are you talking about covering hockey? I mean, that's a completely different thing.
He's 50 years old. He's been in the game for a long, long time.
He's not 50 years old.
I'm sorry. He's been in the game for 50 years. He's 85 years old. He may not have it anymore. I agree with that. I don't think Wolf Blitzer has it anymore either.
Well, I think when you brought up Cherry, I think his commentary and his knowledge of hockey is much better than Wolf Blitzer and his knowledge of his job right now.
He just has the brand.
That's a different entity.
He's just Wolf. That's why he has a job, right?
Yeah, that's a different animal. Wolf Blitzer, I believe 10, 20 years ago was much better at his job than he is today. Why you would bring up Kellyanne Conway's marriage and then say you have issues there? Maybe he misspoke.
That's a cheap shot.
You can't say things like that.
Yeah. It's a cheap shot, and it discredits her immediately in their relationship.
Listen, I could discredit Kellyanne Conway for many other different reasons because she lies. And there's thousands of lies, literally, brought upon by Kellyanne Conway. I believe Kellyanne Conway is an enabler. Just like I believe Jim Jordan is a pedophile enabler. They are both enablers for different reasons. Kellyanne Conway goes on the networks. To her, Donald Trump can do no wrong. And it's one thing if you want to defend the president and that's your job. It's another thing to lie for him on a regular basis. And that's exactly what she does. Look, anybody that says that it is okay to ask the president of the Ukraine to open up an investigation into the Bidens while at that time withholding aid, anybody who thinks there's nothing wrong with that, you have to be biased. You're lying for the president because probably you are a Republican. And because maybe you don't want a Democrat to be in office, you are not telling the truth. But I do have an issue with what Wolf Blitzer did. And anything that is before 5 p.m. on any network, whether it's Fox News or CNN, you shouldn't be biased. You should strictly be reporting the news. After 5 p.m., the Mark Levins, the Sean Hannitys, the Tucker Carlsons, the Laura Ingrams on Fox News, listen, they all would admit, I think, that they are biased.
I believe Mark Levin, well, he's 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Well, I'm just talking about Mark Levin in general terms. He's a radio host.
6 p.m.
I misspoke because he's not on Fox News after 5 p.m. He does a weekly show there. So bring that one back. But, we go to CNN. The problem is that Don Lemon, would say he's a journalist, and he's not. To me, Don Lemon is no different than Sean Hannity. They're both opinionated talk show hosts on television. Now, Don Lemon wouldn't agree with that, and I think that's where he loses a lot of credibility. You have to know your place. You have to know who you are. Now, when you're Wolf Blitzer, or if you're Shepard Smith, who Fox News, he just resigned over there, those guys are reporting the news. Jake Tapper, You know, a lot of people say Jake Tapper, oh, he's way to the left. I actually do think Jake Tapper does a pretty fair job. He does a good job. I also think Chris Cuomo is fair. He has a lot of Republicans on his show. I think he does a pretty good job. Did they lean to the left a little bit? Absolutely. But I think they're a lot more fair and straight in the center than Don Lemon is or Laura Ingraham. I think it is important as a member of the media to be honest with one another and tell the world who we are. This is, and there are some people that have called into this show that have said, oh, you're a journalist, Brian. You should know better. You're a journalist. No, I'm not. Make no mistake about it. Radio talk show host, opinionated talk show host like this one, we're not journalists. We share our opinions.
Brian he can barely spell. You're a terrible speller.
Okay.
You'd be a horrible journalist.
Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely.
Actually, you're wrong on that one because I was a reporter for 10 years.
Yeah, but
and I actually didn't share my opinions in any of my reports. I reported the news.
Right.
I reported Donald Trump and supporting Mitt Romney for president. I went to the debates, Democratic and Republican debates. I've interviewed Barack Obama, and I did it in a way that was not opinionated. Now, I didn't like it because I wanted to be opinionated. I didn't like it because I wanted to share my views, but I couldn't. It wasn't my job. I covered news on a regular basis. I can't begin to tell you how many press conferences I covered in the 10 years I was a reporter, both in Seattle and in Las Vegas and back home where I'm from in Connecticut. I was a news reporter, and I'd like to think that I did a pretty good job. And as a journalist, it's not always your job to be a writer. As a journalist or as a reporter, in this case, a radio reporter, it was my job to go on the radio and do what a writer would do, only speak it on the air. It was my job to report on the news. And I actually think I did a pretty good job of doing that. I just didn't enjoy it.
Kind of what John Schaefer does on our show.
No, because he is a news anchor. I was a reporter. I did a little bit of news anchoring, but I actually went out there and covered the stories and did the interviews and got the audio. And I actually covered national stories as well for CBS, where I would, if something national happened in Las Vegas, for example, there's plenty of national stories I covered. But, if there was a story where a gang member left a nightclub and got into a car accident and killed a couple people in a taxi. It happened right on Las Vegas Boulevard. That was a national story. I covered that for, 300 different stations. All the boxing fights I covered. When the president was in town, when Obama was running for president with Hillary, I covered a lot of stories that made national news. The O.J. Simpson situation at Palace Station.
What's the craziest story you've ever covered?
The craziest story.
The craziest story with the weirdest outcome.
I would say.
And the most odd circumstances.
I would say Debbie Narvaez, who was she lost her life. She was the dancer. She did a show. I believe it was at the Luxor. She was a dancer, and we received a report that she was missing. She'd been missing for a week. So the first person I looked up on social media was her boyfriend at the time. His name was Jason Griffith. And I went to his apartment, and I interviewed him. And immediately as I walked in the door, even before I walked in the door, I said, there's a chance this guy might know where she is, or he might have had something to do with her appearance. So I had that thought in my head. Of course, I wasn't sure. I walk into his apartment, and I interview him, and he looked extremely nervous. He was visibly shaken when I was in there asking him questions. Immediately, I thought he was involved in her disappearance, and he did something very bad. Immediately, I thought that. So I conducted the interview with him. He was very nice to me, but I can tell there was something wasn't right. It's like when the murderer of his wife, Scott Peterson, was doing all those interviews, and you knew something wasn't right. I got that same feeling with Jason Griffith. So anyway, I leave the apartment. She's not found. And then a couple days later, not only is he arrested, but I find that he cut up her body into several different pieces, put her body in concrete, and I learned from a police officer that her dead body was inside his apartment when I was in there interviewing him. Yes, I had a discussion with a police officer about that. And that police officer who I spoke to told me, Brian, you got to be more careful than this. God knows I was lucky to get out of there alive.
Wow.
What if I I learned that it was in the bathtub. So what if I said I needed to use the restroom and I walked in? I would be dead right now.
100% be dead.
I would be dead. So that was probably, it doesn't get more crazier than that.
Was there like a weird smell in there while you were in there?
I don't recall that, no. He put her body, without getting too graphic, in cement. She had been dead for at least a week. I didn't smell anything. We were in his living room. He was visibly shaken. And by the way, he was convicted, and he's going to be behind bars still for a very long time.
Probably a good thing.
But, as a reporter for at least 10 years or so, that was probably the crazy. I've been in a lot of crazy situations. That was certainly one of them. Obviously, covering the OJ case and that whole thing at Palace Station was nuts. Every national network was here for that. That was crazy. And, even though I wasn't a reporter for the October 1 shooting, I mean, that hit home. I also covered the Monte Carlo, the old Monte Carlo, when it caught fire. I covered that. That was a wild and crazy story, too. So certainly 10 years of being a reporter, I covered a lot of crazy things, some things that are great that I'll never forget, some things that I want to forget. But anyway, point being, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing now, and going back to what I said earlier in regards to Wolf Blitzer, I hope the guy retires because he doesn't know how to interview people anymore. He's lost his touch. Completely lost his touch. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by TMZ Sports' very own Mike Babcock for the latest in sports pop culture. That and much more. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this with Babcock. Don't forget Marlon Wayans coming up next hour, too. You're listening to the Vegas Take, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Special report, California school shooting. A parent's nightmare to learn that one is dead, two are in critical condition after a shooting at a high school outside Los Angeles. This mom was waiting outside the school when she finally heard from her son.
Okay, I'm gonna walk to get you. Don't move, please. You just need to be in my arms right now, okay? Okay, I'll be right there, son. I love you. Okay, bye. What a relief.
The gunfire erupted just before classes began at Saugus High School in Santa Clarita.
We knew it wasn't a drill because a drill wouldn't happen when not everyone early in the morning, when not everyone is at school yet. That's when we knew, like, this isn't normal. This isn't just a drill. It was terrifying.
And after sheriff's deputies swarmed the area looking for a gunman, the search is over. The LA County Sheriff's Department tweeted that the suspect is in custody and reportedly being treated at a hospital. The White House says President Trump is being updated. I'm Jan Johnson. The president says he wants the whistleblower whose complaints triggered the impeachment inquiry to be identified. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she is opposed to that.
The president is not above the law. The president will be held accountable, and nobody should have the right to endanger whistleblowers. And that is the system that I will defend.
GOP Senator Lindsey Graham says he wants to defend the nation's principles, too.
Democrats may like us today, but if there's a Democratic president, you got a small majority in Republicans in the House, you're basically going to destroy the presidency over time.
In Little Rock, Arkansas. Teachers are on strike for the first time in more than 3 decades, fighting the loss of collective bargaining and state control over local schools. Schools in Roanoke, Virginia shut down today because authorities say a suspected killer was spotted nearby. I'm Jan Johnson.
Your home for Sean Hannity. KDWN Las Vegas, KKLZ HD2 Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station. It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by your Southern Nevada Chevy dealer. An earlier crash at Charleston at Lamb now in the clearing stage. No new accidents to report. No delays on I-15 north or southbound between the Spaghetti Bowl and 215. There is some light slowing on the 95 in the East Valley. If you are westbound past Eastern Avenue to the Spaghetti Bowl. And on Summerlin Parkway, some light slowing off the 95 over to Town Center Drive. Fall in love with a new Chevy during the Black Friday sales event. Head to a Southern Nevada Chevy dealer and get a great deal all month long on select Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. Chevrolet, find new roads. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Blue Emu Lidocaine Cream and Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Cream both are deep penetrating and odor-free. Beat the pain 2 ways and live life. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink. Available at nationwide retailers.
Best inventions of all time? The wheel, obviously. Cheeseburgers, no brainer. And of course, Tempur-Pedic mattress technology. Hi, I'm Dave Mizrahi, owner of Best Mattress. Save up to $600 on one of those magnificent Tempur-Pedic mattress sets at our Veterans Day sale. Plus, we'll throw in a $300 gift with purchase. You want more? Okay, 72 months, no interest financing, and free delivery. Best service, best selection, best prices, best mattress. Sleep easy, friends. See store for details.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever. 99 cents plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pod sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Don't buy a new car until you hear this. Centennial Toyota is putting Black Friday savings on every vehicle for not just one day or even one weekend, but all month long. Yes, Centennial Toyota announces Black Friday savings all month long. We're making it easier than ever to get you out of that old car and into a new Toyota. Lease a new 2019 Toyota RAV4 just $199 a month. That's the all-new redesigned RAV4 with room for the whole family, just $199 a month. Or shop hundreds of your favorite Toyota models: Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, Tacomas, Highlanders, Prius, and more. Hurry in for Black Friday savings all month long at Centennial Toyota. Conveniently located on North US 95 and the 215 Beltway. Or visit us at centennialtoyota.com. On approved credit, example model number 4430, 36 months, $39.99 due at signing, 0 security, excludes taxes, title, and $4.99 dealer fees. Expires 12/2/2019.
If your retirement plan is on set it and forget it, it's time to take control. Tune in Saturday at 4 p.m. for Financial Safari with America's Wealth Coach and best-selling author, Coach Pete D'Arruda. For more than 25 years, Coach Pete has been helping people just like you plan for retirement. Join Coach Pete every week as he discusses topics like why your retirement plan should also be an income plan and how to make sure you're getting the most out of your 401k. Financial Safari with Coach Pete, Saturday afternoons at 4 on KDWN 101.5 FM and 720 AM.
720 on the AM, 101.5 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON.
You're great, buddy, and I can't wait to see you live here in Las Vegas.
Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Rolling out hour number 3. By the way, coming up here at the bottom of the hour, I love this guy. One of my favorite comedians, actors growing up. He's the best. Marlon Wayans will be joining us coming up here at the bottom of the hour. He's got a show. I believe it's at the Mirage in Las Vegas tomorrow night. Very funny guy. So he'll be coming up here in just a little bit. But, of course, it is Thursday, folks. And you know what that means. It means it is time for a little TMZ action. Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports joining us on the line right now. Mike, how's it going?
What's up, Mikey?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing great.
Doing great. Okay, so, Mike, we always have to start off. We have to start off by talking a little O.J. Simpson, right? We have to talk O.J. So you guys have a story up. O.J. Simpson now warning Kaepernick. I thought you would have never known that Kaepernick would be getting advice from O.J. Simpson, the alleged double murder. Okay, so I want to play you the audio, and then I want you to respond to it. Here's O.J. in his own words.
Hey, Twitter world, is yours truly. Hey, I'd like to say something to Colin Kaepernick. You know, I'm a guy that's been through just about everything. And the one thing I learned is that sometimes your friends, and I don't doubt that these are your friends, but sometimes they could say and do things that aren't in your best interest. You're an intelligent guy. Maybe you should tell some of these friends that you can speak for yourself. In any event, that being said, go down to Atlanta and kick ass. There's some NFL teams that I and everybody knows could use your skills. I'm just saying.
Hi,
Take care.
Hi, I'm OJ, and I've been through a lot. All right, Mike. What are your thoughts?
Statement of the world right there.
So, Mike.
Very true.
So, Mike, he's like walking in this video. Can you describe it, and what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen OJ do this. The guy pays attention to what's going on in the sports world, in pop culture, and he's always making these videos where he's kind of commenting / giving advice on whatever the latest story happens to be. And obviously this week it's Colin Kaepernick. So I think when he talks about friends, I think he's referring to Eric Reed, obviously. Brandon Marshall was somebody also who kind of said that this thing feels like a charade and doesn't feel like a legitimate tryout. So I think what OJ is saying is that, these guys who are going out there and publicly criticizing the NFL after they have now set up a workout for him are hurting Colin's chances of actually being signed. I don't really believe that that's true. I don't know if there's any chance for Colin to actually get signed anyway, work out or not, but I don't think anything that Eric Reed says really has much of a bearing on if Colin Kaepernick is signed after this workout on Saturday.
Well, speaking on Colin Kaepernick, you guys have a story up saying that the NFL is saying we didn't promise you a workout attendance list. What can you tell us about this?
Right. So when the NFL called Colin Kaepernick's people, they were pressing him. They wanted an answer quickly. They said, if we set up this workout, will you attend? And Colin had a few, he had a few things that he wanted to make sure that the NFL was going to follow through with. One of the things that he wanted was a list of the people that were going to attend, because he didn't want low-level people from these teams coming. He wanted coaches and GMs. Obviously, we know this thing is happening on a Saturday, so there are no head coaches going to this thing. How is a head coach going to go to this workout on Saturday in Atlanta and then coach their team the next day? It's not going to happen.
I agree.
So that's one thing that Colin wanted. Now, Colin, his team's position is that we were told that the NFL was going to give us this list. Now, people who are familiar with what's going on the NFL side of things here, they say that that promise was never made. So now we have both sides saying two different things, and I do – part of me does question if Colin Kaepernick actually is going to end up working out on Saturday. I could definitely see him pulling out before Saturday and just not attending the workout.
And hip-hop mogul Jay-Z was very actively involved in creating this as well, correct?
So it feels like that. Rock Nation hasn't said anything at this point, but I think people do believe that since Jay-Z signed on to work with the NFL, that he has been in Roger Goodell and the NFL's ear and trying to push for Colin Kaepernick to get an opportunity. I mean, let's face it, this is something that's unprecedented. We've never seen, no less mid-season, the NFL set up a workout for one guy where they've invited all 32 teams, where they're going to film this thing and send the tape to all 32 teams. We've never seen anything like this. We know, guys, multiple guys work out on Tuesday for different teams every week, and decisions are generally made like that. We've never seen anything like this before, so I think the NFL is going out of their way here, at least to make it look like they're trying to get
like they're making a conscious effort. And I have to respect Jay-Z as a businessman. What he's doing right now is, if this actually works out and he's able to get Colin Kaepernick back in the league, who wouldn't want to sign with him if they wanted a chance in the NFL?
And even, you know what, Jay, and either way, even if Colin doesn't get a job here, nobody is going to be able to say that the NFL is blackballing Colin,
right?
Because, like we just said, they've now set up something that's never been done before. So I think the NFL has put themselves in a good PR position where it looks like they're really trying to help Colin. Are they actually trying to help Colin? I don't know.
Who knows?
The Saturday timing of it is very weird to me.
I agree.
Nobody works out on Saturday. If they really want this guy to have a job, why not have it on Tuesday, where you actually might be able to get coaches and GMs out. So the timing is weird, but I think publicity-wise, it's going to help the NFL.
So James Weissman is now declared ineligible. He withdrew his lawsuit against the NCAA, and he was declared ineligible because Penny Hardaway, his coach, moved him from Tennessee to Memphis, and he paid $18,000 to do it. But why are they withdrawing the lawsuit now?
Yeah, it's very weird. There's been a back and forth, obviously, that has gone on between Weissman's camp, Memphis, and the NCAA, and I think that the school felt that this was a big distraction for the entire university. Because of that, his legal team decided to withdraw the lawsuit. There's not too much clarification on exactly why they did withdraw the lawsuit, but I know they're fighting. They're still trying to find a way here where James will be able to play. I mean, let's be honest, he's not going to be around past this year. So,
no chance.
They have a couple months to get this thing right if he is actually going to see the court anymore for Memphis.
And I think if he does play, they have a real chance to win the national championship or definitely make the Final Four. That team is stacked.
Oh, God. It's a seven-footer who can run like just the way he runs the court. He's a tremendous athlete. Obviously, a very talented guy. A guy who's going to, is a lock to be a top 5 pick. But, right now it's not looking good for him.
Wanted to ask you a little bit about the Detroit Lions honoring Charles Rogers. Really horrible news that came out that you guys reported, the first report that he died at the age of 38 years old, battling liver disease and cancer. You got, even Draymond Green from his hometown that said he looked up to this guy as one of his heroes. This is just a really sad story. This guy was a legend. He's thought of a legend there still in Detroit.
Right. I think a lot of people around the country they realize they think of him being a top pick who, didn't do much in the NFL and obviously had some, various injuries that kind of derailed his career. But if you listen to anybody from Detroit, anybody from Michigan, really, the entire state talk about Charles Rogers, this guy was one of the greatest athletes that the state's ever seen. And, whether it was in high school when he was just electric and unstoppable to when he was at Michigan State, same way, just could not be stopped. You could tell people looked up to him, and I thought it was really interesting, like you said, Brian, to hear Draymond Green, who was a perennial all-star, talk about how important Charles Rogers was to him. So I think it's cool that the Lions and hopefully Michigan State will as well honor him, because I think he deserves it. What's strange about the situation, I talked to some people who are friends of his, guys who played with him at Michigan State, and nobody realized that at first that he was even sick. And then once it kind of did start to become clear to them that there was something wrong with Charles, nobody realized that the situation was this dire. There were teammates who were actually trying to get resources together through the NFL and some other organizations where they might be able to help and try to find a liver for him because he needed to transplant. But all this was going on in the background, but he just unfortunately passed away before any of that stuff could come to fruition. It's turned out that he was really, really sick, and it's just a sad story.
Yeah, he was a freak athlete. He was 6'4", 210 with a 4.25 40 number 2 pick out of the draft of the Lions. And Draymond Green said it. He said people think that Charles Rogers is a bust. He said no, he's from Saginaw, Michigan. He was the number 2 pick in the draft. He made it. It doesn't matter how good his NFL career was. He still made it from where he came from, and you have to respect that. So Mark Cuban is now, he actually did legitimately consider running for president, and then his family talked him out of it. Talk about that.
Yeah, Mark Cuban is, over the last year has talked about how he would like to run for office, and we saw him today out in New York City. We asked him, hey, what's going on? The presidential election obviously heating up here. What's going on? Have you given more thought to running? And he said no. He said he's not going to run. He's changed his mind, and it's all because of his family. He said that his family did not want him to run. And we obviously know everything that comes with a political campaign.
Yeah,
campaign.
absolutely.
And the spotlight that is cast upon your family. So because of that, I don't think that they wanted to see their dad go through that, and I don't think they wanted to go through it themselves either. So they were able to convince Mark not to run. He did kind of leave it open, though. He said, I'm obviously able to change my mind in the future, so maybe something changes. But as of right now, we're not going to get the politician Mark Cuban, which I was kind of looking forward to.
I was too. It makes you wonder. I wonder if he has some baggage, because Donald Trump, he deals with this because he has a lot of baggage. If he didn't have this much baggage, he wouldn't deal with this much. So I wonder if Cuban's got some skeletons.
Right. I think, like Trump, don't like Trump. I mean, when you just look at the scrutiny, it's tough to kind of voluntarily put yourself through.
Listen, Babcock, I am not going to get into a debate with you in regards to Donald Trump. I don't want to lose my job.
No.
Okay, that was a bad joke.
I don't even like, Ryan, I don't even like saying the word Trump anymore. I'm erased it from my lexicon. I will never talk about politics again, believe me.
I don't blame you. That's probably a good idea, Mike. Hey, man, we always appreciate it when you take some time to join us every week. Thanks so much, Mike. Have a fantastic weekend,
guys.
all right? Have a good one. By the way, if you didn't know what I was referring to, Mike Babcock got into a debate with, who was it, JD at TMZ? I forgot his name, actually.
His name was Van Lathan.
Yeah, they got into a debate or argument, whatever you want to call it, about Donald Trump. And
I would say it was more of an argument.
Yeah, and Van got fired.
Yeah, he got physical.
They gave him the axe.
And then he got fired.
Yeah, they gave him the axe. So that's why Babcock says he's not going to be talking about, he doesn't even like saying the name Donald Trump anymore. That's the inside joke that we're talking about there. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, JD was in a very bad mood yesterday when he walked into the studio. Now, that could be a number of different reasons. I've known him for a while now. It had to do with his horoscope. Yes, that's right, folks. I'll explain what that means. We got Marlon Wayans coming up at the bottom of the hour, too. Stay tuned for that. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON.
If your retirement plan is on set it and forget it, it's time to take control. Tune in for Financial Safari with America's Wealth Coach and best-selling author, Coach Pete D'Arruda. For more than 25 years, Coach Pete has been helping people just like you plan for retirement. Join Coach Pete every week as he discusses topics like why your retirement plan should also be an income plan and how to make sure you're getting the most out of your 401k.
Financial Safari with Coach Pete, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON.
Whether it's your first home or your dream home, One Nevada's home loan specialists combine their local market expertise with our no points, low fee loans to make your journey as simple as possible. Because as Nevadans, we know what makes our state special, and we're dedicated to using all of our know-how to bring that feeling to your new front door. One Nevada Credit Union. We got you, Nevada. Get started at onenevada.org. Equal housing lender.
Sunday nights, it's Steve Sanchez.
Wake the heck up.
Live from the undisclosed bunker studios with a Constitution in one hand and a Bible in the other. Sundays from 7 to 10 p.m. on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Hi, Doug Basham here. Join me Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4, and I'll tell you what your conservative, corporate-controlled, right-wing propaganda hate media isn't. You're welcome. That's Saturday afternoons, 2 to 4. Be there.
Hi, this is Harvey Blankfeld, host of Las Vegas Real Estate Now. Please tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and listen to us deliver timely, balanced truths about our market right here in Southern Nevada. You know, there's nothing that I enjoy more than educating our listeners about real estate, except maybe a well-prepared Reuben sandwich where the corned beef is really lean. Sorry, I digress. But please do tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and learn about real estate right here on the new 101.5 FM 720 AM KDON, the Talk of Las Vegas.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Hill with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Children love to play, but did you know play is important for healthy brain development? Play helps children learn language, math, and social skills, and lowers stress. This is good for kids and their parents. The next time your child wants to play with you, say yes. It's one of the best parts of being a parent. For more information on child development, visit healthychildren.org or talk with your pediatrician.
Consider making a really positive, lasting impact in the life of a child. I'm Molly Lathan for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Nevada. Our goal is to put together long-term friendships. Many people don't know that it only takes 4 to 6 hours a month. Be a role model, a support, be a wise adult sounding board, and basically just be their friend. Please visit our website at bbbsn.org and click on volunteer.
Moving and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find out more. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM 720 AM KDON.
I can't believe that they would actually buy into this craziness.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. Coming up here at the bottom of the hour, we will be joined by legendary actor, comedian, film director, Marlon Wayans. That's right. Going to ask them, will there be a White Chicks too? That's my first question. But, JD rolled into the studio yesterday, and he was in a very bad mood, and that could be a number of different things. I know he has a case of road rage once in a while. Maybe he lost a sports bet last night on a bad beat. It could be a number of different things. But I said, JD, what's your problem today? And he says, it's about my horoscope. So, JD, can you please explain to people why you're in such a bad mood, how your horoscope changed, and why, as a middle-aged, or not middle-aged, as a young man, that would bother you? Please explain.
First of all, I'm 34 years old. Am I middle-aged?
No.
I'm not middle-aged.
I corrected myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, but I might be a step above a young man. I don't know.
Okay.
What is 30? I don't know.
Who cares? Let's focus on the horoscope stuff.
I have been a proud Libra for the better part of 34 years, and Libras have certain characteristics. And one of my old ex-girlfriends got that kind of like ingrained in my mind.
Old? I mean, you mean like she's old? Or?
Like way back when, when
you were 12?
Like mid-20s,
okay.
mid-20s.
It's not that long ago.
That's 12 years or 8 to 10 years ago.
That's not that long ago.
A decade. I've been alive for 3 decades. Right. That's one of the decades.
Okay.
That's 30% of my life ago.
All right.
But decently long time.
Fine.
But Libras have specific characteristics. They have dimples on their face. They're very, very charming. They're very, very laissez-faire.
So you're definitely not a Libra then. That's what you're saying.
I am absolutely a Libra.
Yeah.
But I find out...
The first thing I think about you is not charming.
Okay, well, I find out that...
You're a nice guy, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say charming is the right word.
But recently I find out, and before I did this, Brian, I was in high-end sales for a long time. Mm-hmm. So if I have to charm, I can charm. But
that's fake charming.
No, that's not fake at all, because you can't sell if you don't believe in it.
I don't know if I always agree with
if you don't believe in it, you can't sell it. Period. You can't do it.
All right. We'll disagree on that.
Okay.
But go ahead with your horoscope.
At least I can't do it.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I find out that now there is a new sign that has been integrated.
By the way, can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
I don't always believe in myself, but I do get dates because I'm a good salesperson.
Exactly.
Yes. But I don't always believe in me.
You sell yourself to your dates.
I believe in my confidence, but sometimes I'm lying.
Which is the same thing.
Okay,
it's still confidence.
All right, go ahead. Fair enough.
It's campaign would call it swagger.
All right, fair enough.
We call it confidence.
I've got a little swagger. Go ahead. Go ahead, JD.
Did you like that drive-by campaign?
Continue with your horoscope explanation.
Okay.
By the way, I don't think I've ever met a straight man your age that it bothers him to the extent that he's in a bad mood all day because of his horoscope.
Obviously, I'm not in like a horrible mood.
No, you were in a really bad mood yesterday. You were visibly upset.
Not a horrible
Don't try
mood.
to backtrack this.
Okay.
You were visibly upset yesterday.
You're trying to cocktail this into me being a homosexual.
No, absolutely
You
not.
are.
I know you're not a homosexual, and there's
Okay.
nothing wrong if you
All right.
are.
All right.
I'm just saying that you were in a very bad mood yesterday, and I'm saying that I have met some homosexuals, not to stereotype, that are really into the horoscope
I said,
stuff. That's all.
This was ingrained into my brain about 10 years ago, and it's still kind of...
By who? By Richard Simmons?
Not by Richard Simmons. I told you, by an ex-girlfriend. We already discussed this.
Okay, by someone with estrogen.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
With a lot of estrogen.
You're not
exactly.
Wait, you're not talking about our producer. Because
I
we've
am.
learned he has a lot of estrogen.
I am not talking about Mr.
fine.
Stein.
Okay, I apologize. Go ahead.
And
Continue.
Jason actually, he's still a firm Leo, so he's cool. Okay. But I went from a Libra to a Virgo.
Okay, who cares though? Why would that bother you?
Because there's certain characteristics that are applied to you when you have a sign.
You really believe that?
I'm just telling you, it's if you actually look into it, spend maybe 20 minutes one day just looking into it for a little bit.
It's
gonna,
crap.
You're going to definitely find
full of crap.
A few characteristics that apply to your life.
Do you know how many Libras I know that are the biggest scumbags in the world?
Name one.
O.J. Simpson.
Is he a Libra?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
When's his birthday?
I know when his birthday is. I looked it up, actually, and I prepared for this segment.
Okay.
I don't have his birth date right in front of us. O.J. Simpson is a double murderer, and he's a Libra.
Okay, well,
boy, that sounds really...
September 22 to October 21 is
So you believe that when your mom
at least
decided to have you...
It was. Now it's changed.
The time that your parents had sex and the time that you entered out of your mom's body, without getting too graphic, you think that has something
That's
to
pretty
do...
graphic. It's about as graphic as you can go.
The time of that has something to do with your personality traits and all these other... And you actually believe that crap? Why don't you go to a fortune... I believe in... Do you believe in fortune cookies, too?
Hey, Big is my favorite movie, Brian, for a reason.
So if you talk to a lady with a crystal ball... Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in that, too, when you talk
What?
the tariff readings and all that stuff?
Like psychic Susanna?
Yeah, do you believe in that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
No,
because
that's-
why
that-
is it
that's
that
ve-
nobody...
That's very questionable.
Why is it
I'm
that
just
nobody
saying- I'm
ever
just
gives
saying
you a
I've-
reading and says that you're a murderer? You're going to murder somebody.
I followed a couple of things, and there's definitely some correlations there.
Why would that put
And
you in
my-
a bad
and my
mood?
My sign has changed. Yeah. That's it. I hope that my characteristics, my personality characteristics, don't change to go. And so we find out that these signs aren't actually right. That there's actually a new sign, and now Chris Wynn is winning bets, and I've lost a couple of close bets. The universe might just be totally messed up, Brian.
Can I tell you what?
And that's why I was mad.
Okay.
It wasn't because of the horoscope. It's the fact that things are upside down right now.
I think it's a little weird.
And I wonder what is causing that.
I think you're nuts.
Chris Wynn has won how much money in the last week, Brian?
He bets $20 bets.
Yeah, but he's making money hand over fist right now.
Well, number one, I think you're crazy. Okay, number one. Number two, let me tell you what I would do if somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, Brian, you're not an Aries, you're a Libra." You know what I would do? I would say, "You think I give an F, you loser? You loser? You think I care?
Anyways,
you think that's going to ruin my day? Don't try to backtrack on this. You were legitimately in a bad mood yesterday.
I wasn't in that bad mood. Like I said,
yes, you were.
There is correlations between your sign and your behavior, and I hope that doesn't change. I don't want my
of what time you were born.
I don't want my entire persona to change because I'm now not.
So
a
you
Libra.
mean to tell me
I don't want to have these new Virgo traits that I didn't have before.
Hold on a second.
Just walk their way into my life because I'm now not a Libra, Brian.
You mean the time Mr. and Mrs. Sharp decided to have sex, the timing of when your dad decided to get horny with your mom has everything to do with your personality and how you are shaped up to be. Is that what you're telling me right now?
I'm saying there's definitely a correlation to have a reason to believe that could be true.
So if that's the case,
is it 100% true? No, of course not.
So if that's the
I want Johnny's opinion right now.
No, listen. Okay, go ahead, Johnny.
Johnny,
take
what's
the
up?
microphone. No, Johnny doesn't have an opinion. He's
Yes,
smart.
he
because
does.
he thinks you're Looney Tunes,
No,
just
he's
like
got-
me.
he's
That's
got an
what
opinion.
You're crazy. So let me ask you this: if that's the case, men and women that get together, that have been married, that have kids. Wow, I want my son or daughter to have this personality trait. Why don't they just have sex and align that with what time they think the child would be born? Why don't they just do that then, since it's so foolproof?
I would say that's actually possible that they do.
You think some nut jobs actually do that? No, honey, we can't have sex now. We got to wait 3 months because we want to make sure our son is a Libra. You think that there are two people in a hotel room in Las Vegas right now that are horny, but the reason why they won't have sex, or the reason why husband, and the reason why
in Las Vegas.
the reason why the man won't put on a Jimmy is because they want their son or daughter to be an Aries. Are you crazy? You really think people are doing that right now?
I said there is a correlation between the sign and personality traits, and I hope that my personality doesn't change because now I'm a Virgo and not a Libra.
Are you sure Richard Simmons didn't get to you?
And you are taking this way too far, my friend.
Are you sure Richard Simmons didn't get to you? Be honest with me here. Did he not? Did what's his name? Perez Hilton? Did he get to you?
Did Perez Hilton get to me?
Yeah, because he's into this stuff too.
He was a good interview. He was solid.
He's into this stuff too. I'm just mind-boggled by this. You're a manly man, right? You're into football. You're a professional sports handicapper. You like your women. You have a beautiful wife.
I work out.
Okay,
consistently.
I
eat a lot of steak.
God forbid,
I eat a lot of salmon. I eat a lot of spinach.
Yeah, we get the point. Right, we get the point. But God forbid your horoscope changes. It's World War III, and you got to go on antidepressants. You are a weirdo. You are a freaking weirdo.
Antidepressant is you're taking this way too far.
No, I'm not. You're taking it too far. That's why we're having the conversation.
All I'm saying
we got to take a break.
is that I hope that my personality traits do not change just accidentally because my sign has changed.
God forbid your horoscope changes again. That's
Brian,
what I hope.
Hey, Brian,
we got to take a break.
I'm just cultured.
Yeah, okay, that must be it. You're culturally crazy. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Marlon Wayans, the legend himself. Take a break. Be back right after this.
Special report, California school shooting. Shots fired at a high school outside Los Angeles, taking the life of at least one and critically wounding at least two others.
It was just like a big balloon pop, but like super loud, and then like everyone started running, and like it was really scary.
At least 5 people in all were injured, while some students hid in classrooms and closets.
Texting our parents and calling them and telling them we're okay, we're in a room, and that we're fine. This is all we were doing. We were trying to just keep quiet and not make noise.
Correspondent Nick Watt is just outside Saugus High School in Santa Clarita.
Over the past few hours, what they've been doing here is trying to get all of those schools locked down, get the students to safety, and then eventually get those students reunited with their obviously extremely anxious parents.
The sheriff's department says a manhunt for the suspect, a fellow student, is over. With that man in custody, some of the kids who fled said before this, their school felt safe. I'm Jan Johnson.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by your Southern Nevada Chevy dealer. An accident with injury sustained reported on Sunset at Fort Apache. Watch for slowing for emergency staging. Police and fire were the scene. Likely there's going to be some lane restrictions. Again, that is Sunset at Fort Apache. Also a crash at Cheyenne at Tenaya Way. This will be affecting northbound primarily. No freeway delays to report at this time. Fall in love with a new Chevy during the Black Friday sales event. Head to a Southern Nevada Chevy dealer. Get a great deal all month long on select Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. Chevrolet, find new roads. John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Hi, it's Sam. Hey, it's Ash, and we're Sam and Ash, your personal injury attorneys.
If you've been injured in an accident, don't talk to an insurance agent or claims adjuster. Talk to us.
Look, the insurance company's job is to deny your injuries because paying you what's fair costs them money.
We will get you the compensation you deserve. It's what's right.
So call us 24/7 at 1-800-304-2000 or visit samandash.com.
1-800-304-2000, samandash.com. Sam and Ash.
What's right?
Preventative Diagnostic Center now open in Las Vegas. Dr. Pierce, one of the top doctors for wellness and prevention, and he and his team of experts are here to help with your health. Take charge of your health with a simple 14-second scan, I'm going to do it, that could change your life. Preventative Diagnostic Center offers peace of mind, and that is priceless. More information, pdcenterlv.com. That is pdcenterlv.com, or call 702-534-7900.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. We'll also have a dolphin chatter excitedly in front of the perfect candidate. Okay, there's no dolphin. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777 or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
Go down to Atlanta and kick ass.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. You know, we always love talking to local entertainers and people that come into town, whether it's doing stand-up or they're coming in to do a show. And the guy we have with us on the line right now is somebody I grew up just loving, watching him in living color. He's a celebrated actor, of course, a comedian, producer, writer, and a film director. Movies such as classics, Haunted House 2, Little Man, Scary Movie, 50 Shades of Black. One of my all-time favorites happens to be Mo Money and White Chicks. The legend himself, Marlon Wayans. Marlon, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing fantastic. So I know you.
Legend is a big word. I don't want to be a legend because most legends are dead. So just call me like a hardworking guy that's doing a lot of fun stuff.
All right, that's fair enough, Mr.
I think that's great.
Mr. Hardworking guy doing a lot of fun stuff.
And when I die, then you can be like, he was a legend.
That's fair.
Wait, what about living legend?
Yeah, can we do that?
Yeah, it still sounds like it. That sounds like you're dying soon.
We don't want that.
Like you're on your deathbed.
Fair enough. We don't want that to happen, Marlon. So you are performing at the Mirage tomorrow night in Las Vegas. You've performed in Las Vegas before. You spent some time here, man. Tell me what you think of this town in Las Vegas, and can you give me like a crazy story one night that maybe your fans don't know about that you can share with us?
I can't share with you. My career will be ended. But here's the thing. It's the best. Vegas to me is like the funnest 32-hour trip ever. After that, it kills my soul. I can't do it.
Why do you say that? Are you losing money at the blackjack tables? What's going on with you?
Listen, if you have any vices, Vegas is the wrong place. It is the wrong place. If you have a gambling addiction, if you have a drinking addiction, if you have a drug addiction, if you have a woman addiction, you are pretty much messed up.
So basically, what you're telling us is you're under all
and out of Vegas before I'm tempted.
Okay,
I agree with Mark. I think that in Vegas, if you have all four of those addictions, or even two of those four vices at once, you're done. But you could have one.
Can you
Would you
share
agree
with
you can
us?
have one of those four?
No. If you have one, it's a gateway. And that's the thing.
Marlon, can you break?
It all happens.
Break some news with us.
Then I would be a legend. Then I would be a legend.
Break some news with us. Out of all those that you listed, do you fall under any of those categories? Be honest, Marlon.
The women category.
Okay, well that's not really a problem. That's understandable.
I try not to go to the strip clubs because it's Disney World with breasts, and I just go. I can't do it. I just don't go. I lose so much money. I might as well not have worked.
Marlon,
I don't want to give all my checks because I feel bad. They want to go to college, and I just want people to be their best them.
Marlon, most money you've ever spent in one night at a strip club in Las Vegas. Be honest. Uh-oh, I hear radio silence. Marlon, are you there?
I'm calculating. I know it wasn't my daughter's tuition, but I would say it was definitely her housing and her books.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
And mind you, she goes to USC.
She goes to USC.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That sounds like about 10.
But I look at it, it's a write-off because it's a donation. I'm helping somebody's dream. Who wants to dance on a pole and get calluses without going to nursing school? I'm helping people.
Right, and but is it just one gift, or is it 20 or 30 gifts to 20 or 30 different women?
That's true. That's true. That's a valid point.
Just one. I like to be monogamous in strip clubs.
All right, so Marlon, I got to ask
and
you.
even if we dance with two girls, I got to get the first girl's permission.
See, I can respect that. That's very solid strip club etiquette, in my opinion.
I got to, since we're on the topic of
I'm
women.
very chivalrous.
Since we're on
I hold the door open. Listen, I hold the door to the champagne room open and let them walk through first.
So I don't want to. No, are you married, Marlon? You're married, right?
No.
You're not married. Okay.
I was saying this if I'm married.
Okay,
if
that's
I was
fair.
married, I'd do like every other married guy and act like it never happened.
Okay, fair enough. There's a reason why then. Okay, you're obviously you're a famous guy. You've been around.
Ryan.
You've been around a long time. You're well known. Can you share with us some famous people that either you've wanted to be with that maybe turned you down on a movie set? Some interactions you've had with people. Like, I don't know. Like, give me a story. Have you ever said, "Oh my God, I've always wanted to meet Halle Berry," and she turned you down?
No, actually, everybody I've met is pretty cool people. I'm cool, so I don't walk around with and I'm not like a lascivious human being. So it's just like
you're not Harvey Weinstein.
I don't
right.
Like, when I met Halle Berry, I wasn't like, "Hey Halle, what's up, girl? You want to see these monsters balls?" I was very respectful and sweet, and she was very sweet. Like I'm a nice guy, so I try to make sure that I try to be respectful, especially like even in strip clubs. I don't even put my hands on their butt. I keep my hands by my side, and they put my hand on their butt.
I never thought I would say this. Marlon Wayans, the model citizen. It sounds like you are a model citizen.
Really am.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm what we call in the black community a mensch.
I like it. If you're just joining us, it's Marlon Wayans. He's going to be performing at the Mirage tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Tickets still available. Let me ask you this, Marlon. With everything that's happening in the world right now and how divided we are politically and everybody's so sensitive, do you think in today's day and age you could do a White Chicks movie again?
Absolutely. Now is the perfect time to do it. I think we all need a great movie like White Chicks 2 to make people laugh, because it's the reason why I do comedy. When we laugh, we come together. We all find, even if we agree to disagree, when we laugh, what we found was something in common that brings us closer together. There's nothing better than to laugh at yourself and laugh at the world, and that's the joy of what I do.
I agree with that. I mean, do you interject politics at all into your act, and can you talk a little bit about that, and what do you make of the political divide?
I used to, but I feel like politics is so divisive right now. It's like we've gotten to a point where you can't, like, Republicans are mad at Democrats for being Democrats. Democrats are mad at Republicans for being Republicans.
It's true.
And that's not what America is. We're just Americans. I can chill. I have, like, Republican friends. And I don't look at them differently. You can root for who you want to root for, and that's the beauty of America. If you want to be a Trump supporter, you can do that, and you have every right to do it.
Sure, that's fair.
But you have every right to do it.
That's fair. I got to say, like, it's so difficult, as you know, to make it in show business and to do what basically your entire family. I mean, Damon Wayans and, of course, Keenan Ivory, you guys, you come from such a talented family. So I have to ask you, where did you guys get this from? Your dad's side, your mom's side? Where did all this talent and this funniness come from?
Absolutely, my mother. My dad is silly. My mom is funny. So my dad would be silly. My mom is really funny when she's mad. So my dad would be really silly. He'd piss my mom off, and she would curse him out so long. Like, my mom is so funny. Like, she's with my dad 50 years. She never told the same joke twice about him. Like, she would just riff new curse words. This woman was amazing.
That's awesome. What is it like?
Richard Pryor with breath.
Oh, well, that's pretty awesome, actually. So tell me a little bit, what is it like at the dinner table back in the day when you guys are kids? You're sitting there with your brothers, Damon and Keenan Ivory, and your family. What was a typical dinner like with the Wayans family?
Well, it's not till after dinner that the fun happened, because when we grew up in a house full of 10 people, it's every man for himself. So we ain't that much food. So we fight for that food first. We'll laugh afterwards. And afterwards, we just always did characters. Every time Keenan and Damon came home, me and Sean had some new characters to show them. And it was just a fun, creative household, you know, and we had a lot of love, a lot of poverty, a lot of roaches, but a lot of love. We had as much love as we had roaches.
So it is,
and that's a nice balance of love and roaches.
I would say so, but it's crazy, right? Because you talked about this before, where you come from a family of not a wealthy family, not even a middle class family, a family that didn't have a lot of money, and then look at where you guys are at now. Do you ever like just stop and take a couple steps back and say, wow, this is incredible, where this family came from and where we're at right now?
Absolutely. Oftentimes I go to New York City and I'll stay a couple of blocks or across the street from the projects I grew up in. And now I sit there in these nice hotels and look at the projects, and I just go, I don't know how we did it. And I'm so grateful for that journey. Every day that I can wake up and feed my kids and send my daughter to college and, and do the things that we're doing, and, like help strippers, exotic dancers get their college degrees. I just really feel like so blessed.
So one of my favorite movies back in the day, Marlon, is Mo Money. Right? It's one of my favorites of all time. Will we ever see you and your brother Damon back on the big screen anytime soon? Do you guys talk about that stuff?
So I actually just told him we should do a Mo Money 2 with me, him, and little Damon.
Oh, that would be so awesome. That would be so awesome. Like, because some of these classic movies from the past, right? Coming to America. I mean, how do you feel about that? They just made another Coming to America too. As a director, a former director yourself, a writer, how do you feel about some of these movies? Because one of my favorite comedies back in the day was Dumb and Dumber, and then they make a Dumb and Dumber 2, and I thought they just completely destroyed the movie.
That was so bad.
Right? And then, but yet there's other great movies like Haunted House 2 and Scary Movie and all that other stuff. Would you be afraid if you made another Mo Money or another White Chicks that it could ruin the original?
Well, two things. One, anything Eddie Murphy does, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 48 Hours 2, if it's Beverly Hills Cop 5, or if it's he could do Pluto Nash 2, and I would be the first in line.
Fair enough.
But I think that for us, I think if you're going to do a second, the goal would be to be as good or better than the first. And so that's why, like with a White Chicks 2, I would be excited to do it now, because I think we're better comedians than we were when we did the first movie. I think we're better stars than we were when we did the first movie. And I think society has gotten, and pop culture has gotten to a place where a movie like White Chicks 2 is necessary.
By the way, if you need anybody on set in White Chicks 2 on how to be extremely white and boring, I can always help you out. Just let me know, okay?
No, I'm going to cast at the exotic dance club that I go to. Because I think those girls with their college nursing degrees would be much better.
Right, I totally. Brian does not go to nursing school. So one of your co-stars in the movie Friday, his name was John Witherspoon. He passed recently. Did you stay in contact with him before his death?
Yes, John was a very good friend and like a second dad, and it's very sad his passing. I often now watch Wayans Brothers, and I laugh at how funny he was, and it sucks that we don't celebrate a lot of people while they're here, and we start celebrating them when he's gone. But the memories that he left us behind, those laughs. John had classics, and everybody's classics. Eddie's, my brothers, Robert Townsend, me and Sean. Like, he had classic moments in all of our classics, and that's the beauty of John.
Geez, JD, way to dampen the mood. Geez, we were having some fun. No, I'm just kidding. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with...
Good job, bro.
We're speaking with Marlon Wayans. Big show tomorrow night at the Mirage. Okay, I don't think a lot of people know this about you, Marlon. I actually played a little bit of poker against you back in 2009. You played in the World Series of Poker. You are an avid poker player, and you were very nice to everybody. You're actually a pretty good player yourself. Talk to me a little bit about your poker prowess.
I sucked. I got kicked out of that damn game. I lost in the first, 3 hours. It was a wrap. And I quit poker. I was just like, listen, I'm not good at this. I was never good at math. I don't understand odds. I'm not a liar and a cheat. This game does not work for me. It's like relationships. I'm too honest. It doesn't work. you have to be a great liar and a great cheat in order to survive a relationship. I'm not that. I suck. What do you have? I have pocket aces. Can you fold? I don't want to take your money, and I would pull those up. So now I quit that, and I just do comedy because I feel like I got pocket aces every night.
I would say you pretty much do. So basically what you're saying is Donald Trump would be a great poker player. Is that what you're trying to say?
He would be amazing.
Fair enough. All right, here's my last question for you, Marlon. For somebody that has maybe never seen you do stand-up before, I have, and you are absolutely amazing. Your whole family. I mean, I've seen Damon do stand-up a bunch of times as well. You guys are unbelievable. But for somebody that has never seen you do stand-up, that is thinking to check out your show tomorrow night right here in Vegas at the Mirage, can you talk to me a little bit about your act and why people should come out?
I think people should come out because, the joke's on me. I don't think people have to worry about me making fun of them or me making fun of, hot button topics like politics or, race. And it's just, I do this show and it's about me and the things that I deal with. And so the joke's on me. Come laugh at my expense. Come laugh at my pain. It's a vacation away from the world for an hour and a half. I'm not going to change your life. I'm just going to change your mood. So come on out. Come get some of this laughs. We all need it.
Marlon, you are a living legend, and you are one of the best. And we are going to celebrate you now that you are still alive.
You're
I
also a
promise you.
hardworking guy that does a lot of cool stuff.
Yes, you are a hardworking guy that does a lot of cool stuff also. Marlon, I know I will be there.
Wants to make money to give to exotic dancers so that they can go to college.
What's wrong with that, right? I do it all the time.
I think those are great goals.
Yeah, and I don't have the money that you have, but I still do it. Marlon.
I personally think that's where we should head in our philanthropic efforts.
All right, well, are we hitting up, Sapphire or Spearmint Rhino after your show tomorrow night? That's my question.
Oh, probably both.
All right. If you want to meet Marlon Wayans and get a picture with him, he might be hanging out at one of those places tomorrow night. Marlon, thanks so much for the time, man. You really are awesome. You are a legend, and we'll see you at the show tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Take it easy, bro.
All right, take care.
Thanks a lot, Marlon.
There you go. The legend himself, and he is a legend, Marlon Wayans, joining us. That was a lot of fun. He is an extremely funny guy, and I recommend any of you, if you're thinking about, well, what should I do tomorrow night? It's an affordable ticket. It's not too bad. I'm looking at the range, the price range, around $50, which is actually not that bad at all to see a really good show on the Strip. Marlon Wayans will be performing tomorrow night at the Mirage at 10 p.m. Tickets are still available. And I got to tell you what, I think I'm going to go tomorrow night. That is going to be a fun show, and Marlon Wayans is a legend. We appreciate him taking some time to join us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, what is up with the Vegas Golden Knights? Another loss, this time at home against the mediocre Chicago Blackhawks? We'll get to that coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, K-Dawn.
So there's this guy named Jordan, and he's a healthy guy. He's a dad of 6, and he works as a guide in Alaska. But then he goes to the doctor, and he's diagnosed with cancer, stage 4. And here's the thing. He had switched from medical insurance to MediShare, which is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry. So the question for Jordan and his wife Jenny was, is this really going to work?
Our medical bills exceeded $160,000. MediShare members shared all our bills.
And it was about more than just the money, too. This is a real community.
MediShare is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life. I just don't know how I could have done it without MediShare.
It's so worth looking into. There's a reason this is growing so fast. If you want to find out more, here's a number for you. 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on K-Dawn.
Rich is just a really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. You know, we have our producer storming into the studio because we just had Marlon Wayans on the show. And he storms into the studio and he says, I think Wayans was too young to be in Living Color. Hey, you dope. I've got the press release right here. It says it right here. He was in Living Color. Why are you trying to mess my stuff up, man? What are you doing?
Hey, Twitter world. I didn't know it was in the press release, and you said mentioned in Living Color, and it just struck me as that doesn't sound right. And then I did a quick Google search, and I didn't see him on IMDb as in the cast. His brothers certainly were. Keenan Ivory and Damon were in Living Color. I don't remember Marlon being in it, but apparently the press release says he was.
You hurt my self-confidence.
My job as a producer to make sure you don't look like a damn fool, and I didn't want you saying he was in Living Color if it wasn't true. That's all. But also,
well,
I said to you was, I said I wasn't sure.
Well, obviously you're not doing your job because a lot of our listeners would think I'm a fool every day. So obviously you're not doing your job.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But that's self-inflicted, Brian.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Self-inflicted. Okay. Well, you guys are so nice. You
So
guys
he was
really helped my self-confidence.
He was in Living Color.
Yes,
he was in Mo Money. That I know for sure.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that assurance. I appreciate that. Mo Money's one of my favorite movies. Just saying. Yes, I know. Well, I appreciate that, Stein.
All right.
Appreciate your help. Thank you for coming in.
Can I go now?
Yeah, get the hell out of here. Right. What else are you going to do wrong? Go into your little cubicle, and what else are you going to Google? Brian Shapiro porn? What's next? What's the next thing you're going to Google? I'd love to know. I want to know the Google search.
Nobody wants to see you hanging out with farm animals, Brian.
That's not nice. That wasn't right. Anyway, we love Stein. We love him. I'm a little hard on him sometimes, but don't come in here and say I'm wrong on something, you dope, when I'm right. I was a big fan of Living Color. I'll tell you, a lot of people are not a big fan of right now, the way the Vegas Golden Knights have been playing over the course of the last several weeks. So last night we were on the air, yesterday, not last night. Last night we went to the game, but we were on the air yesterday.
Thankfully, we're not on air.
And I thought that the Knights would take care of business last night. The Chicago Blackhawks come to town. They're an average team. They're about a 500 team. They come to town.
They're the middle of the road.
Yeah, and the Knights are, they get Alex Tuck back yesterday, which is a big addition. And they get off to a great start, and we both agreed. We thought the Knights were going to win, and they get off to a really nice start. They're up 2-0, and they give up, 6 unanswered goals? Or 5 unanswered goals? They lost 5-3, right?
They gave up 5 unanswered goals in about a period and a half.
So what happened? We both went to the game. What is your explanation?
It's crazy. The shots on goal was 42-26.
Their goaltender was fantastic.
No, he wasn't that good.
He made a lot of big saves.
He was not that. No, he made maybe 3 or 4. The Knights are just taking the shots that they take. They're not good shots. They don't take great shots as a team anymore. They used to pass the puck around quite a bit. It looks like they're just trying to get a shot off these days. And Fleury is very slow. I mean, they had probably 3 or 4. They probably had 5 or 6 breakaways. The Knights had like 12 breakaways, at least 12. And I would say that the Blackhawks had 5 or 6, and 4 out of 6 of those breakaways they scored goals.
Yeah,
they just maneuvered around the defenders with ease, and Fleury couldn't stop it. I mean, it happened. In about a minute and a half when they were up 2-1 and they got down 3-2. But I just think that the Knights are taking very, very poor shots right now. Marchessault's penalty shot was horrendous, one of the worst you'll ever see. I think that other teams have figured out Carlson and Marchessault, which is an issue, and I believe that Fleury's just getting old. This team, to me, looks like they're not a playoff team right now. Again, they don't pass the ball like they used to. They're not really great. There's not one player who's really great offensively, I don't think. And you have to have something like that. I mean, like Patrick Kane last night, he's a great offensive player. You don't see the Knights getting goals like that where one player breaks down 2 or 3 defenders and shoots around him. I think you just see a lot of shots on goal, and there's always a couple. They do get a lot of shots on goal, but there's always a couple of defenders in between them and the goalie, and then the goalie's usually in good position. At least from what I've seen, the shots they're taking are just not good shots.
Well, we're going to continue to see what happens here. I mean, it doesn't get easier for the Knights. Right now, they are not in a playoff position if the playoffs started tomorrow. So, this is one of those situations where I think they might squeak into the playoffs, but, man, they got to start playing better. You can't make excuses anymore. Alex Tuck is in the lineup. Nate Schmidt is in the lineup. Stop it with the excuses. And I know you're not making the excuses.
Absolutely not. Of course I'm not. And I bet a bunch of money again. I mean, I'm down. I'm probably down $5,000 betting the Knights this year so far.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hundos.
I mean, it's just a lot of money. These are bets that on a different team they would win, but with the Knights, I'm just losing. It's weird.
All right, so we're going to take a 21-hour break. I want to give you a quick update on this California high school shooting. Now we are learning that at least 2 people are dead and several others injured, some in critical condition. The shooter is in custody. It happened at a school about 40 miles outside of L.A. We're probably going to learn more about this story in the next 24 hours or so. We will continue to monitor it and bring you that. And, of course, the impeachment hearings and everything's going on in the world of news, politics, sports, entertainment from a Vegas perspective, because that is what we do here. Check us out on our YouTube page, The Vegas Take. Also on Twitter, @The Vegas Take. If you missed anything, we will post those up later today. Have a fantastic afternoon, everybody. Sean Hannity coming up next. Have a great day.
Kilmeade, Hannity, Levin, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.